years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters, and as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became two, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Paddock Award, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
They entered into the acceleration zone. Green flag flies. We are racing. Big slide farther back in the pack. Couple of micros going a little bit slideways, but they're going to hold it together. Pressure from Luca Besseril. Besseril, look outside for speed. Now down into turn 4. Got it. This position going to go to the inside of turn 1. Got it. The lead of it. Whoa, cross back, crossover.
I don't think battling each other is the way to go right here.
Oh, almost a little bit of a squiggle there for Trusho in that purple car. Here comes Delbon to the line. Look at him, he's so excited. Good afternoon, race fans. It's time for pre-finals for ROK Cup in the Florida Winter Tour Round 2 from the Orlando Kart Center. My name is DJ Clark. Delighted to be joined once again by Jason Ewers up here in the commentary booth. We had a good morning of heat action with heats 2 and 3 taking place. Now put all of those numbers together, put them in a pot, and we get the starting order for this pre-final that we're going to be taking place here across all of our series. First up, of course, will be the Briggs 206 senior class.
Yeah, we're going to see if Admonson, who finally had some pressure from round 1 to round 2, and it took 3 heats into round 2 as they make their way onto the track. We'll see if Yanko has something for him, but I'm going to say I'm going to be back here looking at Michael Coggins.
All right.
Turning some really fast laps in heat 3. We'll see if he can translate that into some pressure on Admonson. As I look over here, they are going on track right now, and that must be but we'll see what happens as they cross the line here. See who gets checked in.
Yeah, and one of the crucial things to keep in mind here as we talk about the senior categories, those are going to jump up to a 12-minute plus 2 laps. And then when we talk about the micros and the minis, those will bump up to a 10-minute plus 2 laps. So a little bit more than we've seen. How's that going to change your setup? Are you going to be consciously thinking about that in these karts, or is it basically just hold on to what you got?
Not really. That 2-minute bump's really not much. Okay. Now as we go through the final, quite so much. This is not lower horsepower. My question is the enemy going to go out on brand new tires?
Right.
Like here, I probably don't think so because it's a little bit smaller. But the strategy is as you get to these larger fields, what's going on, and we may get a delayed start here. I'm seeing Coggins must have got out a little late out of the pit, so he's trying to make up some ground over here. I'm sure they're going to send them around, or they may not.
And we'll have to see Coggins just now coming through about turns 8 and 9 right now. You actually see him in the background of the shot there, so he is hustling as fast as he
should
can.
do the cut through right here, which would be nice if he did that. That flagman should probably have relayed him through the cut through, but not so much.
I will say I did notice a couple of the karters there actually giving signals over that's where he is, so they clearly knew where Coggins was in trying to catch up. So looks like he is about to catch up to the back of the pack right about now. So they'll line in on that. I think that means we're going to have a clean start here for Dylan Amundsen. He will start off in in that top position. There is the indication given by the flagman. Again, 12 minutes plus 2 laps. There we go, nice and slow until we get to the cone, and there we go. We are racing once more for the pre-finals for the 206 senior category. Robinson gets away nice and cleanly. Yanko's going to stick right to his rear bumper as they come through turn 4. That's something we haven't seen a whole lot of. That is Dylan Robinson having a look behind him at Eli Yanko. Yanko almost giving him a little bit of push out of turn 5.
Yeah, I mean, he did have to experience that a little bit in Heat 3, but we'll see. Adamson's very comfortable leading the race. We'll see what it is with a little pressure behind. Getting pushed by Yanko right there. So Yanko's pony's got some legs. Throughout the race, I just see Coggins just went really wide over there. I don't know if he's trying to get around the car or just missed his mark, but everyone's tapping the back of their helmet because see the top 4 carts already checked out.
Oh, and a big mistake there from Yanko. That's going to allow Mache on through. And Mache is going to be able to move his way up into P2, and I think Owen McCarthy now is in P3, so Yanko's got more work to do to try to catch down on Dylan Amundsen.
Yeah, looks like they just went ahead and took Mache back to the 3rd right there, so we'll see what happens. See if Yanko was just toying with Amundsen, had more pace, so we'll see if he can catch him or not.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Mache there, indeed. It's Amundsen. It was McCarthy, excuse me.
Yeah, McCarthy's in the Burrell arc, so we'll see.
Yeah, McCarthy, Yanko, and Mache. I think, though, Yanko's fallen back there. Our timing and scoring waiting to be updated here. So
yeah, Yanko's in 4th right now, so we'll see what happens there. I did get notified that no one went out on stickers, so they still are on their original tires from qualifying.
All right, so definitely doing kind of what we suspected, as you said.
Oh, right there. Mache just went around of the 48. Oh, I don't know what happened. I haven't seen any spins in that corner.
No.
And he didn't get any help. He had no one behind him, so I'm not sure if he just got up on the curb and just got a little bit too much grip, and the car just spun on him.
Yeah, not sure either. It's just kind of a strange incident there. As you said, that's not an area where we've really seen anything, and that kart is not getting going. He's trying to get that thing restarted, and it is not pulling for him. He is absolutely hauling away on that kart trying to get it restarted, but it doesn't look like it's going to refire.
Yeah, it's like me trying to start my snowblower the day before the snowstorm. Forgot to put the fuel cleaner in it. Yeah, it's great.
Yep, we've all been there.
Yeah, he's going to have to take that off the track.
Yeah. Meanwhile, up front, McCarthy's starting to hassle a little bit of Amundsen. He's definitely got pressure to him. Yanko is about 1.5 seconds behind. Cariotti in 4th. Coggins in 5th, the driver you said to watch out for. You know, when McCarthy holds on to the fastest lap of the race, so that's certainly nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah, 3 tenths faster than Amundsen there, so you can really see if he can continue that pace, or if Amundsen can be able to respond. Yeah, what a shame there for Yanko. Is that Yanko that went back there, or that was Mache? Mache had a good run going right there.
It really did.
Again, it's a smaller field, not too awful of an action for you. Put some new tires on for the mains tomorrow and go back out and just work your way up through the field.
Yeah, we'll have to see. McCarthy, though, doing a great job to keep that pressure onto the back here of Dylan Amundsen. That's what we watch on your screen. The gap about 4 kart lengths as they come onto the main straightaway here, starting to diminish down a little bit. It was a half a second the last time of asking. This time as they go on by, it's down to 4 tenths with 8.5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, but Yanko just went purple right there with a 107.1, trying to run that top duo down. Not sure if he's got enough time or the pace to close it down, but 8 minutes to go plus 2, a lot of track time left.
Yeah, a lot of track time still to play for here, so a lot of areas to be able to make up that ground, also a lot of areas to make mistakes. That's the other flip of this that you've got to really keep in mind. We saw that earlier from Mache. We saw that happen.
Great run from 7, 8, 9 right there by McCarty. You can see him close down on the back of Amundsen, so we'll see what he can do here. And the thing with these 206 carts is there's no horsepower in these things, so if you make a mistake, just like you just saw right there with Yanko, it's amplified even more because you just don't have that power to pull you out of that mistake.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what happens when you get down, not just in karting, but in really any form of motorsport, whether you're talking about an MX-5, a GR Cup, anything like that, that lower horsepower machine. That's why we call them training cars a lot of the time, because you learn the way you're supposed to roll that speed through the corner.
Oh, absolutely. So it's completely different than the higher horsepower cars. But Amundsen looks like he responded right there. I'm not sure if McCarthy made a little bobble that just allowed Amundsen's just staying nice and consistent with his lap time.
He's getting closed in. Let's see if he has another good run as he did through 7 and 8 last time. Not as perfect, but still a good run there for McCarthy coming through 7, 8, and 9.
And did I see Maché back on track?
Yeah, that
right
is
there?
Maché back
Okay.
on track.
Yeah. I mean, if I was Maché, I'd kind of maybe just back it up a little bit and tuck in behind the lead pack and just kind of watch him.
Learn a little bit, see what you can pick up. That's not a bad idea.
Not be in the way or anything, but kind of just learn. And yeah, it's just interesting because McCarthy is really fast through certain sections. He just doesn't have the consistency that I see that Amundsen has.
Well, he did just set the fastest lap of the race with a 2:07.03. He's got the gap again under 0.5 of a second. But to your point, Jason, I really do think that any time he gets close enough within touching distance of Dylan Amundsen, Amundsen just responds.
Yeah. Amundsen's just a machine. He's a cyborg out there.
Yeah.
Just no mistakes, just rhythmic every single time. And we see that again, how he's able to close up on him through 7, 8, and on the 9. And then just makes a little bit of mistakes here and there where Amundsen's not making them as they go through 10 and through the midfield of the track.
Yeah, and there, as you saw coming through turn 10, just a little bit too much curbing there, I think, for McCarthy. Popped 2 of those tires up into the air, and yes, that'll help rotate the kart a little bit. But it's also going to slow you down because when you don't have 4 tires on the road, you're not going to have as much grip. Gap probably going to expand up here to about just under 5/10.
Yeah, and it's kind of, Yanko's sitting back there turning another purple lap for McCarthy, but Yanko's turning great laps too. There's Coggins with the 107.05. Like, oh, look at that lap to Amundsen there, 106.86 to McCarthy's 106.85. Like, that is the great thing about these 206 engines is the parity, and you can only do so much to them. That it really does come down to driving and how you can set your car up.
Yeah, very, very much so. And it just comes down to that, consistency, word of the day that we've been talking about quite a bit.
Man, he just gets through that section so well.
Really does. Owen McCarthy now 4.5 minutes left on the clock. Question's going to be here is what happens if they catch Maché.
Well, and I'm not sure. I know in the finals that lap traffic gets black flagged off. I'm not sure if that's what we do with pre-finals or not. I'm not 100% sure. We really haven't had any lap traffic issues at all today. So,
no.
And that's the other thing. We may start seeing in these longer races lap traffic.
If I remember correctly, they will leave them out for the pre-finals, and then it's in the finals that they get black flagged.
All right.
Don't quote me on that, but I think
right.
that's what I remember from last time.
All right, here McCarthy really closed up going through 5 into 6. Still plenty of time in this race, 3:46. He was 0.5 faster that lap, 0.05 faster. Just amazing. Look how good he is. A little wide there, but gets through that section so well. And there's Maché doing the polite thing, moving over. He got the blue flag to say faster carts are coming behind.
Yep. And gave that sort of wave there to indicate that's what I'm doing, letting you guys on through. So great heads up there for Maché. Want to give him credit for that.
Yeah, I like what McCarthy's doing here. I think he understands, he knows where he's faster than Amundsen at. And Amundsen is faster through that infield section of the track. But McCarthy seems to be closing in just a little bit more every lap. Let's see where he is here. He's got that gap down to almost a little under 0.3 of a second. Went purple there with a 106.71. Yanko's right there too, just made that mistake.
Just made that mistake, and that's what really cost him 2.5 seconds back. Gap up to Amundsen, though, from McCarthy down to about 1/4 of a second. Call it about a single kart length in between the two. And he's got a little more overspeed coming down into turn 7. This is the strong area of the track for Owen McCarthy. Is he going to try to send a sneaky move? Yes, he is. Down into turn 9. Does he get it done? Yes, he does. For the first time in as long as I can remember, we've got a different leader in the 206 category.
Yeah, but I don't think Amundsen wants to give that lead up so fast. And side by side is only going to help Yanko catch them. And there's Yanko right there, right behind him. And he's got the pace to run with these guys as well.
Yeah, he does. We know he does. That gap's certainly going to come down. But now here's my question. Can McCarthy maximize in those areas where he knows that he's faster to try to build a little bit of a gap over Dylan Amundsen?
Oh,
but
yeah.
Amundsen down to the inside of turn 1. He's got P1 back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that kind of caught McCarthy off guard because if I was McCarthy, this is where I know I'm faster. So I just want to be in front of him and then build as much gap as I possibly can through this section of the track. And I'm telling you right now, I don't think Amundsen knows what to do being second place.
No, I mean, we've been here ostensibly for 6 days at this point. We're counting into account round 1, and we haven't seen Dylan Amundsen have to fight, really.
No, and what's also going to be interesting is he's going to learn why McCarthy is that much faster through that 6, 7, 8 into 9. Now
Will
that he's
he be
tucked
able
in
to
behind, and he's going to be able to capitalize on learning from that.
I was going to say, will he be able to take that information in and really prioritize it? Does get a little bit of a run here out of turn 10. Coming down into 11, looks for a little bit of a crossover. That's not going to play, has to stay in line into turn 13. This is where he tried to go for the run last time, and there a big look from behind from Owen McCarthy. 45 seconds on the clock, call it 3 laps to go, and Amundsen does it again. McCarthy left the door open.
Yeah, I'm shocked on that. It's almost like McCarthy's cart just washes up a little bit there. Good over-undertaking here. Maybe, maybe not. Not sure. Push there. See if Yanko can catch up to them as they're battling here. And I am just surprised that Yanko is not. I mean, with those two battling, he's 0.6 faster a lap. And you can see him now in the same camera angle. And here we go. McCarthy going on the inside through 9, but look who's right there.
Yanko.
Yep.
He has finally been able to catch up to this after a full lap of battling. Amundsen's going to have the preferred line coming into turn 10. He's going to take that away from McCarthy. Now Yanko tries to make the move on McCarthy. Almost a little bit of side-by-side bumping and banging between the two of them. Oh, sneak move there from McCarthy.
Move.
Well done.
McCarthy. I didn't know he had the momentum to carry that in there, but good move. And here comes Yanko. May put Amundsen back down to 3rd here. That is my guess, but you know this is his turn. He likes this corner. Getting on the inside, not enough there. That probably helped McCarthy out because he didn't have Amundsen taking that inside like he's been schooled the last 2 laps.
Well, and Yanko, who's been watching him do that, I think was about a half a cart's width off to driver's right to prevent that maneuver from Amundsen. So that's very heads up from the 70.
Yeah, absolutely. So we definitely in a position that we have not seen Amundsen since we've been doing this together as announcers. So in 3rd place, we've never said that. But let's see. I don't think he's going to stay there. He's definitely got a good little hot rod there, but we'll see what he can do. But very impressed with Yanko, staying patient, laying down consistent laps, knowing that these two are battling, that you're going to gain on them and have that momentum to continue to go up there and hopefully just take it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It does look like McCarthy's got a little bit of breathing room. Call it about a cart length's difference in between himself and Eli Yanko. Now Yanko closes it up, coming down through turn 13. Going to start pushing ahead here. Let's see if he gives him a little bit of a how you doing love tap. Not really seeing too much of it. They're going to come down into turn 1. Amundsen into the rear bumper there of Yanko as he carried so much speed through 1 and 2. This is the white flag lap. All right, there they go through turn 5. Now here comes Amundsen looking for the outside lane, looking for the crossover. Unfortunately, that gate is shut. He's going to have to stay behind. Now he's going to look to driver's left as they come down into turn 7, maybe trying to carry a little bit of overspeed through there. Come down into 9.
Amundsen's going to try to go for 2 here.
He got 1.
Yep.
All right, McCarthy with a look behind him. He knows what's coming from behind. He knows it's Amundsen. He knows how quick Amundsen has been down through turn 10 in particular, but he's got just enough of an advantage to hold it at bay. He's looking behind him here. Don't look behind. Just keep your head ahead. There he goes, now down through 11 and 12. Little bit of a fidget there for McCarthy. That could have been the opportunity for Amundsen, but I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to go, and for the first time that we can remember in the 206 category, it's somebody other than Amundsen. It's Owen McCarthy.
That was a great 3-cart battle.
It really was.
Very. good racecraft, good clean racing, respectful racing. That was awesome. I can't wait to watch the final.
Yeah. All right, we've got something circled. Make sure you're with us tomorrow because that is going to be absolutely fantastic to be able to see.
Yeah,
that final, by the way, going to be coming at you tomorrow morning at about 10:35 Eastern.
Yep, after the morning warm-ups. And look at Coggins. Coggins made his way all the way back up to 5th.
It's an impressive
run.
run.
Yeah, so again, you're going to have those 5 guys. And it's going to be a really fun, or 4th, because we have a timing and scoring issue here. But yeah, all the way up to 4th. So it's going to be a fun final.
Yeah, I think it is. We've been kind of waiting for it a little bit, waiting for it all to come into play, and good to see somebody besides Amundsen. And we're not wishing ill will on Dylan Amundsen. We just want to see good racing.
Yeah, and he also wants his name talked about.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't really talk about him too much because he's been dominating so much. So, but yeah, good for all those guys. It's good for the sport. For 206s, it's just great to see the parity of the engines and how close everybody is.
Yeah, very, very good to be able to see as we'll keep going. Looks like we are going to take a quick break away, pay a few bills. We'll be back with you for the ROK Micros presented by Orsilon Racing.
27 years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters. And as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became 2, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Paddock Award, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America, and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
And welcome back to the ROK Cup Florida Winter Tour. It's time for ROK Micro, presented by Orsilon Racing. And it's going to be young Aiden Gove that has accumulated the most points to be able to get his way up into pole position. Mauro Nario going to be behind him with Zev Gottschalk, Dutch Westbrook, and Bernardo Cooper-Goubert, who really was kind of the standout driver to me from that opening run. A little bit surprising that he's back in 5th, but he's going to be one to watch for.
Well, he had that one bad DNF in Heat 2 or Heat 1. So that's the reason why he's back there. So this will be interesting to see. I'm going to check to see if anybody has new tires on in here later in the field, but I'm not sure.
Drivers currently making their way out right now, warming up everything as they'll make their way down onto the back straightaway and get the signals from the flaggers around the track. So just going to slow down a little bit.
Yep.
Get everything ready to go. There it is. So fan out a little bit as they slow it on down.
Yeah, so this is going to be great because this is going to set up the lineup for the finals tomorrow. So as we talked about, there is a little weather to play tomorrow, but we look like currently we're going to be okay for us.
Yeah. It may be raining, but we're not going to have any delays.
No, not at all.
All right. Everybody making their way on in. I think that was Mauro Nario that you saw having him hustle his way forward. Maybe something wrong with the car to that Orsilon chassis to get his way up forward.
Who's Kart 5?
Medeiros. That's
off
Medeiros,
pole.
not Nario, excuse me.
Yeah, so there's Medeiros. So you still have Go starting pole, then Medeiros off pole. The 99 of Nario is actually behind. Oh, crap. Kart 40 of Kennefic. Grayson Kennefic and back there, but they're going to let him go.
Very early start yet again for Aiden Go. Not seeing any. Well, there's a couple.
No.
Yes, it's waved off. It is waved off. Now, we were all kind of waiting for it on that, as that was a little bit of a scruffy start. A little bit early, it has to be said, for Aiden Go to get up and get the hustle on that. But,
yeah, it's surprising because usually, this group, the micros and the minis, have always been really good at the starts.
yeah.
So, we did have Kennefic sitting back there trying to make his way up to make their way back up to the field. So I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it either. So we'll see. Reline them up.
Well, as we talked about previously in this, very important to be on that inside line coming into turn one. How many times have we seen that outside line, those outside drivers really come back and be bit coming into turn one?
Right.
Yeah, almost every race.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely interesting to see what's going on here. But I watched the last. Go got that night. Aiden's got who was starting Medeiros. Medeiros got a really good jump. But because they waved it off, we'll see if he can get that same jump again.
Yeah, he went very early this time, and that definitely contributed to that run. But let's see if he's able to get a little bit of going here. Again, going to be all about this start. Aiden's been quick all weekend, obviously, as you can imagine, qualifying up in pole position for this heat. All right, here they go. Giving a clearer indication of where the go zone is there. On it, and that looks like a clean start there.
Yeah, and you saw that right there with Medeiros immediately trying to go down.
Yeah.
Looks like he got the door shut on him, but we'll see what happens here as he goes into 5. Aiden with the lead, then we got Medeiros and then Nario, I believe, and then Dodge Chalk, car number 1.
That's Nario in that Ursulon chassis, the number 5. No, that's Medeiros. I think Nario's actually been able to move up into P2 in that number 99. So the order here is Go, Nario, Medeiros, and then Dodge.
And again, not shocked. That's 1 and 3
Yep.
going through. So just following that leader through that turn 1 into 2, 3. But then you have a Goubert sitting back there in 4th if he can make it stick. Maybe get pushed back to 5th there. I don't know who that was in that Bennick chassis that just made a pass, but Goubert's just going to sit here and get settled in. Already up to 4th from 7th.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Grupo Goubert needs to be able to do. But here comes a move on the lead right now. This is Mauro Nario down to the inside of turn 1 on Aiden Go. Gets the position. A definitive move here for Mauro Nario.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I'm sitting there and I've been watching Go through 1 and especially the 2. He goes significantly higher through 2 than anybody else does. And, again, these motors, you're listening to it. You don't want to hear the motor bog down. You want to hear it keep singing. So I'm not sure if he's just kind of chasing the motor up the track so he doesn't bog it down. And looks like a move right there going into the junkyard turn, and that would be Medeiros. So now you have an Ursulon 1-2.
And look at this. Grupo Goubert already up into 4th place and threatening on the back of Aiden Go. So Bernardo, one of the quick drivers here early on, definitely starting to threaten once again in that, frankly, definitive and unique-looking chassis.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Since he wasn't here last time, we didn't get a lot of information on him. So I'm sure we'll do our due diligence tomorrow morning and come back and give you all the details of what he is dealing around this track.
So that's the outside there as they come down into 3. They bring their way across right now into turn 5. All right, trying to bring their way through. It does look like Nario's starting to build a little bit of a gap here. Medeiros trying to hold off an attack here from Go and Cooper behind them.
Yeah, I mean, Goubert went purple that time with the 102.5. 3/10 faster than anybody else, and leader, who's second fastest on the track. So continue to look through the field here.
Here comes the move from Gooper, trying to see if he can get that done on Aiden Go. Yes, he does. Move Bernardo Clupo Goubert into the podium positions.
Yeah, and you can see right there where Medeiros is asking for the push. He may get some help from Goubert right there to get up to his teammate and then say, see ya.
Yeah, he also, Goubert may just actually power on by him here.
Right there, nice
That's
move.
exactly what he's going to do.
Go,
through
trying to go in
turn
tandem.
one.
Didn't make it happen, but interesting what's going on there. So Goubert, now Goubert's got his sights set on Nario, and he's 5/10 faster than Nario, and they're only 7/10, 8/10 behind. So my guess right here, especially with clean track, is Goubert's going to be on the back bumper of Nario before we get to the start.
Yeah, I think that's totally right. I think he's going to do it very, very quickly. They're trying to chase down there. You can see already building a good gap. Aiden Go and Medeiros trying to fight a little bit for that final podium position here. Just about 6 minutes left to go in the pre-final for ROK Micro, presented by Orsilon Racing.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the rest of the field here. I mean, Gottschalk's struggling a little bit. You know, he's been on our tongues quite a bit the last couple times that we've been on the bike, and down to 9th right now. So interesting to see what's going on with his chassis.
Well, and again, a little bit different as compared to last time, because we did have change in conditions, had a little bit of weather coming in. But we got to remember, the final Zeb was in second in that last run, side by side for the lead. Here we go. And Goubert's got it done.
Yeah, good move, good patience, but he also brought a little companion along with him right there, and Medeiros. So we'll see if Medeiros can capitalize with following Goubert through most of the track for that one circuit. Let's see what he can do. Look at Aiden Go sitting back there, kind of like on his own little island, wanting these three to kind of battle it out to be able to catch up to them and be able to be a part of that group.
Yeah, I think he's going to try to go. Looks like he's just lost a little bit here. I don't know if he's got it. Could be a situation where his kart's just going to come in a little bit later, but as things stand right now, Aiden does look a little bit farther back in the field. But Medeiros, Goubert, and Nario definitely up into a field of their own here, and it looks like Goubert's going to try to start to pull away. We've got to keep an eye on this battle for P2. Medeiros thinks about a move down to the inside into T5. That's not going to play out. Could go for something here into 6. No, discretion the better part of valor for Alvaro Medeiros.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Goubert is. I'm looking at the results from last weekend at Skeever, too. He didn't race in that. He wasn't here for round 1. Definitely, he's been in a go-kart before. Shows that.
It's a Sodi chassis, by the way. I just saw it on the back of his jersey.
I did, too. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah,
he's got fire suit, rather.
So, great job for that kid. He's definitely crushing it. Dominant right now. Just laying down fast lap after fast lap. But hey, Medeiros just almost matched the purple lap of the day. So he's not doing what I thought he was going to do.
He's not running off into the distance. He's keeping this relatively close, which is very refreshing to be able to see. I get the sneaking suspicion that this battle for the top 3 is a little bit of a powder cake here with Goubert, Medeiros, and Nario, and that we're really going to see this fire off in a couple of laps.
Yeah, especially when you have 2 teammates and a non-teammate.
Yeah.
He'll look over his shoulder. Where's he at? Can you give me some help? Let's go. But yeah, very interesting, because I really thought that Goubert would just check out once he got out in front, but not so much.
No, he's not really checking out. Medeiros actually able to carry really good speed there through turn 13. Keeps the gap to about 2 car lengths as they come onto the main straightaway here. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Call that about 4 laps or so left on the clock.
Yeah, Medeiros just matched the fastest lap of the race and was a 10th faster that lap over the leader, Goubert, in that kart number 10. So, yeah, Aiden's just sitting back there in 4th place and hoping that something happens with that top 3 to be able to catch back up.
Yeah. We'll see if he's able to. Medeiros, though, good run through 7 and 8. Not able to make that sneak move into 9. And Goubert's feeling the pressure. I mean, look, he is ducking down. He is trying to minimize that drag in that number 10 cart down the straightaways, really pushing ahead. Medeiros, too, giving that hop, skip, and jump to the cart.
Yeah, Medeiros definitely got a great run through 7, 8, into 9, down to 10. Really closed that gap on Goubert, so we'll see if he can get that run again as they go into the turn 1 through this nice little section through here into turn 5. He's within striking distance. He could try to outbreak him going into 5 here.
Well, and he just set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:01.40. That's about 0.08 of a second faster than Goubert's fastest. Minute and a half left on the clock, plus 2 laps, remember. Doesn't quite get the run that he wants to coming out of the corner. Now into 7 and 8. Whoa, skittering that cart across the surface. That's how hard he's running it.
Yeah, I think Goubert thought the same thing that we were thinking. I've got this easy, and then Medeiros had a completely different plan.
Yeah, and the good news is for Medeiros, he's got about, let's call it, one attack's room in between himself and Maronario. If he's able to get one clean move here, he's going to be able to keep that gap up between himself and Nario. If they battle for side-by-side through multiple corners, though, Nario's going to be right there.
Absolutely, and Nario's no slack on his lap times either. He's just a tick off, but that's not much at all in this class.
No, hardly nothing as they cross over the stripe here. 30 seconds left on the clock. That's going to be 3 laps for these drivers.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if Medeiros kind of used every bit of the rubber on those tires that have a ton of laps on them.
Yep.
And we'll see, or if he's just kind of pacing himself to be able to make an attack with 2 to go.
Well, we'll have to see here. The gap starting to expand a little bit between Medeiros and Nario. Let's call it about 9/10 of a second to a full second, just based off of eyeballing it here.
Yeah, and what a great run right there. He gets down through 9 into 10.
Perfect amount of curve through 11 and 12. Narrower line on the exit of turn 13. That scuppers a little bit of speed, but it does give him maybe just a little bit of an advantage. 2 laps to go for these drivers.
They're just 400s faster on that lap. Nario right there, almost matching lap times the same. Yeah, Francisco setting his fastest lap of the race as well. There we go. Medeiros, this is the closest he's been on the back of Goubert all day. See if he's going to make a move. See if Goubert's going to be a little defensive going into 10. Doesn't look that way, but we still have 2 laps to go. Very patient for the young man Medeiros right there. I thought for sure he'd try to dive in on him.
Yeah, I thought he would too, but I'm liking this wait-and-see approach from Medeiros. Changes his line on the exit of 13, realized that Goubert had a little bit more speed there, and decided to let that cart run a little bit wider. That shows good heads up from Medeiros. Sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:01.04 as he does. Goubert gets off a little bit into that grass on the outside, but it doesn't present an opportunity here for Medeiros as they come into 5. Same story into 6.
Yeah, that is a blistering lap, a 1:01.4. Unbelievable lap by Medeiros.
Looking to see if he can get a move here. He's going to go into turn 9. Side by side they go, and they come out of the corner in single file order with Alvaro Medeiros in front, but Bernardo Goubert is going to try to fight back. He's not going to get it done. Defensive line there for Medeiros. He's got it held as they come out of turn 10.
Great patience by Medeiros just to sit there and wait and then pounce at the last minute. But Goubert has other things in his own mind.
Oh, Goubert with the sucker move there down into the final corner. He's going to get it to go. Brilliant stuff from Goubert. Hands out. He is an excited driver. Bernardo Goubert with the brilliant move through 13.
That may be the pass of the weekend so far.
That was incredible. Just absolutely sold him a dummy. Thought he was going to go to the outside and dove it up on in.
Yeah.
my, oh my. The rest of your top five, by the way, Nario Go and Liam Francisco round out your top five. Chaveri, Westbrook, Carvalho, Capitan Goduno, and Lennox Lockhart. Good result there for Lennox, up into the top 10. Good to see that for him.
Yep, absolutely. This is going to work itself into a amazing final.
Yeah. If you're going to tune in for a final, may I recommend you tune into that one tomorrow, because it's going to be super fun to be able to take a look at.
Yep, so now we are working our way into the junior GP class.
All right, as we get ourselves ready to roll things around here.
I thought you were talking about.
All right, that means we are going to send another quick break away from the action. We'll be back with ROK GP Junior presented by PSL Karting.
27 years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters. And as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became two, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Paddock Award, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America, and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
Into the acceleration zone, green flag flies. We are racing. Big slide farther back in the pack. Couple of micros going a little bit slideways, but they're going to hold it together. Pressure from Luca Besseril. Besseril, look outside for speed. Now down into turn 4. Got it. This position going to go to the inside of turn 1. Got it. The lead of it. Whoa, cross back, crossover.
I don't think battling each other is the way to go right here.
Oh, almost a little bit of a squiggle there for Trusho in that purple car. Here comes Delbon to the line. Look at him, he's so excited.
Years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour.
And welcome back to the ROK Cup Florida Winter Tour from the Orlando Kart Center, round 2 of the Florida Winter Tour. We are ready for the ROK GP Junior category, powered by PSL Karting. And it's another Medeiros. We've just been yammering away about one Alvaro Medeiros. Now it's time for Cole Medeiros in the 207 to start on pole ahead of Edward Kennedy, Sarah Bradley, Fionn Shi, and Alexander Van Cheff.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. You know, we had a pretty decent race, I believe, in Heat 2, or Heat 3, I mean. Really, Medeiros kind of checked out, but good battle there for second place between Kennedy and Sarah. So see if they can continue on, see if they made those changes to be able to give Medeiros a run.
Yeah, that's going to be the real question here, to see who's going to be able to put the pressure up to the front of that kart with Medeiros behind the wheel. You can see him there in that purple and black machine up in that 207.
Yeah, and keep an eye on that 286 of Fionn Shi. Been fast all week, had a not such a great qualifying run, so stuck back on a little bit of the field. Kind of my dark horse.
Fionn's had some good running, and we believe an Australian driver from what we see on the entry sheet. So if that's incorrect, Fionn, we apologize, but that's just what the entry sheet shows. But very excited to see that. A little international flavor, again, being brought in. We love to see that. We love to see all of the folks coming in from all around the world to join in on this karting experience. Cole Medeiros, Edward Kennedy. Kennedy's got to watch out. As we talked about in that previous round, starting on the outside line, coming into 1 and 2, that is a negative position to be me in. I would say here this is going to be advantage Medeiros, obviously an advantage Sarah Bradley.
Oh, absolutely, and then even maybe Vanchev. So, Vanchev has been fast too. So it will be interesting to see what happens here. But we can see if Kennedy can get down as fast as he can, but nothing there to be able to go down to. And Sarah
contact.
goes in sliding, getting pushed from behind.
Oh, Kart's up and over. We've got big contact into the wall.
258, 202, and 292. So that was Bradley.
That's the
Katowski.
Yeah.
Sarah, okay, well, hopefully she can gather herself. Plenty of time in this race to continue moving up through and picking people apart, because this is important. This determines where you're starting the final.
Right.
So every spot you can pick is a spot closer up on the grid that you go.
And this is music to the eyes here of Cole Medeiros, who's been able to just sneak off into the distance here. Battle behind, though. That's the 225 Kart, trying to make a little bit of a move. At least I think it's the 225.
Is that Cordero?
That is
Did he make a
Cordero.
move?
That's that many positions. There was that much of a kerfuffle, and Cordero is all the way up into second.
Good move for him. Just dodging.
Really good stuff. Yeah, Cordero, Dupuis, Shermer, Miller, Vanchev. She's been shuffled down. Kennedy down to 8th. Facundo Hernandez and Jackson Elefante round out your top 10. Really the battle to keep an eye on here is for P2, Cordero, Dupuis, and Shermer.
Yeah, right now Medeiros is in complete control of this race. So Cordero, surprised right there, but not surprised. But coming in from the back of the pack, all at 7 positions. So
that's pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
The green flag.
Yep, absolutely. So let's see what he can do here. And if they can compose themselves and work together with Dupuis and Shermer and see if they can get up there to Medeiros as fast as they can.
Yeah, Dupuis in that red and white Kart, Cordero in that sort of black 225 that you see, Shermer in the white Kart behind them, starting to gap a little bit from Shermer. Alex Miller, not a name we've called, that's Vanchev and Kennedy starting to move their way forward. Bianchi up to 7th, Miller's dropped down to 9th. Must have been a problem there because that is 4 positions lost in the course of a single lap. Pass for P2, Dupuis up into P2.
That helped Shermer close the gap a little bit on them. So see if he can maintain that. Actually got some good roll through that. 6, 7, and 8 into 9. Very defensive roll right there with Cordero, but that allowed the momentum to go down into 10 for Shermer, and he got the pass.
Got the pass, got it done. Good run there for him. Shermer moves up into P3. Couple of actions there from behind. But that battle between Cordero and Shermer has allowed for Dupuis to stretch his legs a little bit. So Nathan now starts to pull ahead. He's got about, let's call it half a second gap, but a real gaggle behind them with Kennedy, Vanchev, Bianchi, Hernandez, Miller, everybody on top of each other there.
Yeah, that's all the way down to 10th place. I mean, that's definitely all gathered each other up. But, you have Medeiros up there with a comfortable 3.5 second lead.
Yeah, very, very comfortable lead there as we continue to watch Dupuis and Shermer. This, again, the battle for P2. They're going to try to hold it in. Good line there for Shermer coming through 7 and 8, able to carry a lot of speed and roll that through the corner. I'm not sure what the order is necessarily with Kennedy, Vanchev, and Shi. Similar teammates there, I believe, and so those liveries very, very similar.
Yeah, that is true. So we'll see what happens here as we cross the line and get an updated scoring here. I love to see it. We have 9 karts that are all right there fighting for second place. So, and we've seen this before. It takes is 1 kart to get out of line, and you're going to lose 3 or 4 positions.
Exactly. Okay, updated order here in from 5th on down is Vanchev, Kennedy, Shi, Hernandez, Miller, Cariotti. As we watch right now, this is the battle still for P2. But it's changed around again. Is that Shermer able to get by Dupuis? Dupuis now under pressure from Vanchev, who I believe has been able to get by Cordero. And now that's a big move down to the inside for Dupuis. He gets it done.
Yeah, and that shut the door, I believe, who was that on Cordero, which opens the door for that freight train that came right by. And I believe one of those was Vanchev as well, correct?
Vanchev, I believe, is in P3 right now, second in line.
Yeah.
There you see him. So it's now, as they're going to cross the line, we're going to get that official confirmation. It is Dupuis, then Vanchev, Shermer, Cordero, Fionchi, Kennedy. Bradley back up to 11th. Jackson Elefante up into 10th. So they're starting to join back up into this conversation as well. Mostly single file, a little bit of contact there farther back in that pack as they continue to try to push their way ahead. Looks like there that was Fionchi and Edward Kennedy running very, very close to one another. Not seeing a move here. That's a very defensive line from Nathan Dupuis. He doesn't want to be given his own medicine going down into turn number 9.
No, not at all.
All right, here as they come. Trying to see what they can do. Pushing ahead, a little bit of jumbled up action there. As Fionchi's able to get by Edward Kennedy, that'll be up into 4th place overall. That's 3rd in your shot. Big move to the outside for Cordero. I don't know if that's going to play out. Is indeed, that's going to be Facundo Hernandez that's going to try to make a little bit of a run. Big move to the inside there as they try to go. Let's see. Here they continue to play, working their way down into the corner.
Yeah, with the cute. I mean, that is a gaggle.
It's an
cards.
absolute gaggle of cards. Here comes a big move from the back there. Big move to the inside. Vanchev, Fionchi, up and by Dupuis. They're able to get by. Kennedy's going to try to do it as well, but he's going to be able to hold in line. Is Dupuis right now. Cordero also up into this mix. Don't blink, folks, or you're going to miss a part of this action.
Yeah, that's Vanchev front, right? The 206 of Vanchev. Yeah, Dupuis, Cordero, Kennedy, Hernandez, Shermer, Acevedo, Elefante. That's your rounds out your top 10 right there. Again, this is going to change 3 or 4 times throughout this race.
Yeah, it's
throughout this lap, probably.
It's a little bit crazy here. All right, as they try to sort themselves out a little bit more, Vanchev continues to hold on, continues to hold the position. Love to see that there from them.
Yeah, it's got the 206 rolling, but you got teammates right there. So, and there's a late dive by Dupuis that made the pass on Shi. I don't think Shi was expecting that, but that allowed them just to gap a little bit for Vanchev, which he's got quite a bit of breathing room now. And if they continue to fight, that's just only going to give him more breathing room.
Yeah, it's just going to continue to give it, and it certainly looks like Cordero wanted to keep up that fight a little bit. Kennedy directly behind Cordero there, trying to see if there's a move. Severely defensive line from Dupuis, and it didn't pay out as Dupuis gets kicked out onto the dirt, and that's going to be Fionchi fighting contact!
To get back and then spun right there. Yeah, I think that was a little payback.
Think it might have been there.
Did he bend something? He looked down at the spindle. Hopefully he didn't bend it. He can continue on, but that's a shame because that's going to put him back for the final.
Yeah, and he's been having such a good run here. I think that promotes Cordero up into 2nd place, or 3rd place, rather.
206 is Vanchev, and in 3rd place is your 225, which is Cordero, correct?
Yeah. So that's going to put them there. And then I believe... wait for this to all shuffle around. Yeah, that is Kennedy in the 269 directly behind. So that's the battle that we follow right now. That's Arthur Cordero and Edward Kennedy. And here comes the move from Kennedy down to the inside of 5. Can Cordero fight back on it? He's got a little bit of momentum, gives him a little bit of a how you doing, but that is Kennedy's position up into the podium spots. All right, there as they continue on, we watch that battle. Madero's way out into a field unto himself, 12 seconds up the road from Alexander Vanchev. Vanchev, in turn, has 3 seconds over the likes of Cordero and Kennedy.
Yeah, that's just incredible. Like, he just slowly checked out. As the field is battling, he just has clean track ahead of him and was just laying down blistering lap after blistering lap.
Yeah, and let's remember, 2.5 minutes left to go, plus 2 laps. That gap is going to grow. There we see a little bit of a pass back there as that's Kennedy and Cordero trying to sort themselves out a little bit. That's farther back, excuse me.
Yeah,
that's Schmeier, Shermer, Fonshi, Elefante, that whole gaggle.
Yeah, you're
also
two,
add
yep.
Sarah Bradley to that mix.
Sarah's back up there now. Good for Sarah.
All right, they're going to keep going right now. Big defensive move. Look how bent over that cart is. And a
got
little bit more
nose
contact.
damage. Not nose, but a little bit of Nassau panel damage right there on that 269.
That's Kennedy.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to call a flag on that to bring him off as a safety issue or may just let him continue to run. Big defensive move.
Yeah, big time there on Cordero that he tries to defend from.
On the inside, very protective line right there.
No, excuse me, that's Fionn Shee with the damage
the
right there.
286,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that is
Sarah
Shee.
Bradley directly behind Shee.
Yes.
And then,
we're on the group behind. Okay.
yeah, Noah Landry and Jordan Martin.
Yeah, so Kennedy and Cordero right there.
That's Kennedy and Cordero. Then that's Fionn Shee with the very defensive line. Sarah Bradley going to try to push around the outside. Elefante there behind going down to the inside. That's going to be a move done. Actually, I think it was Jordan Martin that may have gotten that done. 40 seconds on the clock. Side by side here between Fionn Shee and Sarah Bradley, and Bradley's got it.
A little look over, make sure she's cleared to go down. What a run for
This
Sarah.
is impressive. We know how good of a driver Sarah Bradley is, but this is impressive. But Fionn Shee's not done. Down to the inside. Bradley tries to go for the cutback. No, just going to have to give a little bit of a love tap to the rear bumper.
Yep, 3 laps to go here, 2 to go at the line. And that is, who is that? Is that Landry?
That's not a name we have called this weekend.
213 of Noah Landry. Definitely has his cart working right now, and he was all over the back of Sarah. So we'll see if Bradley decides to stick it in here on 10 with coming to 2 laps to go here shortly.
And Bradley does indeed get it done over Fionn Shee, so that'll put her into 5th. White flag waving. Bradley, Shee, Landry. There may have been contact. There definitely was contact. That was Jordan Martin and Noah Landry.
Yeah, the 222 of Martin got the bad end of that stick right there going through that corner. But let's see what happens here. Landry, good run for Landry so far. I think he said a name we haven't really said so much, but quietly picking his way up through the field and gonna have a really nice starting spot for the main.
Yeah, it's going to be really good here for that. Medeiros held that gap up at 12 seconds up at the front of the field. Here they go, is now coming to the line right now. Cole Medeiros about ready to cross as the white flag flies. All right, we may have had a little bit of a timing and scoring snafu here. Now it is the white flag, so we still have one more lap of action. All right, we're going to keep on Sarah Bradley right now as Fionn Shee continues to try to hound her, but Bradley's starting to break away off into the distance. Impressive here from Sarah.
Yeah, just mentally being able to come from a spin like that on lap 1 and just dig your heels in and fight and fight and fight. And it's going to end up with a top 5, so that's going to end up 1, 2, 3, 4 inside row 3, starting the main.
Exactly.
Not a bad
spot. That's where you want to be. Medeiros has crossed the line to take victory. Following behind him to the tune of about 13 seconds back will be Alexander Vanchev. Then it's Edward Kennedy, Arthur Cordero. Now we've got to wait another couple of seconds here for Sarah Bradley. She was about 8 seconds behind Arthur Cordero. Fionn Shee then comes across. Hernandez, Elefante, Landry, and Spurko round out your top 10. What a fantastic race, albeit a little bit scruffy.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that as we get. This is way more important than it is to the heat races because now, like we talked about in previous conversations, this establishes your starting spot for the main. So making up one position makes a bigger difference in the pre-final than it does one position in heat races.
Yeah, very much so. As there we see everybody coming on out. We'll take a look down in pit lane, see if there's any words to be said. A couple of drivers just chatting back and forth. I see some frustration there a little bit from a few of these drivers. Not unexpected.
I'm not sure what Kennedy can be frustrated with. He's kind of on an island of his own, like you like to say right there, but completely understand. They're sitting in line here waiting for everything to clear before they go through scale to make sure they pass weight. Then they'll go on into tech.
Yeah, there's a smile from Kennedy. There we saw it. Like, heads up, how you doing?
Yeah, it was nice. Who was that? The 225? Yeah, 225 of Cordero. Yeah, again, Cordero, great job.
Dude, that just looks like a fucking...
All right, as there we take those final looks at everybody, putting those placards on in. We're going to take another quick break away, but this time around, we've got a little interview for you to play, so we'll head to that right now. DJ Clark walking through the paddock here, and we've ran into Ariel Castro from AM Engines. And, well, I want to start at your start. Tell us a little bit about how you got your start in karting and in engine building and all of that.
Yeah, everything started in Argentina when I was 8. And then I came here to US in 2004, I think. And nothing. I started to driving. I was driving. And then in 2011, I started to do the engine part, because I was working with my dad. So since there, I'm working on engine and driving too, a little bit.
What is it about the engines that really gets you going and gets you excited? And was there a little bit of secret sauce that you were able to put into it?
Oh, I mean, we were mechanic in Argentina too, working with cars, with racing cars too. So that's what I like to do it. So.
Well, then let's talk about AM Engines in general, because you've expanded in the past couple of years, not only running a kart team now, but also F4. What's that been like?
Yeah, we had 2 Formula 4 cars that we do in the team too. Between that and the go-kart, we are very busy. We had the go-kart team too. So very, very good. Busy, but very good.
Busy's always fantastic. One final question for you, and full confession, it's a little bit of shameless self-promotion. What do you like about ROK Cup, and what do you like about the engines that we're able to provide in particular?
Yeah, the series is very good, very well organized. And the engine is very easy to work with, so very, very good. I like the ROK.
Well, we like having you here, Ariel. Thank you so much, and good luck out here this weekend.
Sure, thank you guys.
27 years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters. And as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became 2, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Paddock Award, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
Welcome back to the ROK Cup Florida Winter Tour as we get ready for the ROK GP Pro Championship presented by Velocity Racing. It's going to be a good one here, but the big question for this round, who can catch Blake Nash?
Yeah, that's a great question. Been dominant since round 1, or out round 1, but since heat 1. See what he can do here. Struggles a little bit when he gets behind, trying to get through some traffic. Being smart, make sure he saves his traffic. But with that, once he gets out front, he's just checked out.
Yeah, he'll certainly be in a good position to try to push himself forward and get into a good play if he's just able to dominate from the front of the field like we've seen him do multiple times. This, again, going to be 12 plus 2 here. Caden McQueen going to be starting to his outside. DeAllen Carr and Karai behind him. As there we go, we are racing, and a little jumbly there, but Nash is going to get that good start. Looks like that is going to be Dominic Karai, who's able to be going into second, getting that jump on Caden McQueen. And it looks like McQueen actually may have fallen down to third place here as they make their way out of turn 5 and down into turn 6.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the rest of the group that Blake Nash is now in the lead.
Yeah.
But Karai's sitting right there, not letting him get a little too much distance on him. But we'll see what happens.
They work their way onto the back straightaway right now. McQueen under a little bit of more pressure here from behind. You see a couple more of those Nash Motorsports drivers moving their way around. That's the 300 of Eric Questo making a move. That'll move him up into fourth place. Nash just trying to pull away here as much as possible from Karai. Dominic Karai, who we should mention, had a very quiet 3 heat races. We didn't really call his name that often, but just good, solid top 5 consistency.
Yep, and that puts him in a really good spot right there. All he's trying to do is just buy his time, finish a good pre-final here, and get a good final position. But something of interest, and we've talked about this a little bit, that the lower placed people starter deeper in the field. Is somebody going to go out with sticker tires? And we have 2 takers here. So we have, keep an eye on Kart 317 and Kart 349. Tyler and Sean Dick, they both have brand new rubber on their kart.
Yeah, they certainly do, as they're going to try to work their way up through the order a little bit as they try to use those tires to full advantage. The 357 sends a nice little move there. That's the Allen car, a name that we've called quite a few times earlier on. He's moving his way up forward, looking pretty strong here, as the Allen car now will move his way up into fourth place and get a big gap over Eric Questo.
Oh, right there, Caden McQueen just went purple with the 55.01, a couple tenths faster than the rest of the field. So that's good for Caden, and let's see if he can close down on Karai.
Yeah, if he can do that and not waste too much time, he may be able to have a shot there at Nash. I think that's exactly what we just saw. That's the 395 of Caden McQueen, able to get on by Karai, and now McQueen up into P2. He's got his eyes set ahead on the 324 of Blake Nash.
Absolutely, and he's not a ton faster, but it doesn't take much. Just a couple tenths faster every lap to catch him. And if he can get some help from from Karai from behind, a little push here and a push there, but it doesn't look like he's going to let that happen.
No, I don't think so. I think McQueen's just going to have to do this on his own. He's got, frankly, too much speed for Karai, as Karai just looks like he's bogged down a little bit. The Allen car and Ardilis not too far behind there as well. You see them on the bottom of your screen, and McQueen really starting to push ahead. That gap is 1.2. He's going to have to try to go. That's the 393 of Ardias trying to be able to send a move, and he gets it done on the Allen car. Good stuff there from him. That'll move him up into P4. Good position. Again, this is another 12+2 race.
Yeah, we still got 8.5 minutes left, so it's a lot of racing left.
A lot of racing, a lot of time. There's a big duck there from Ardias. He really thinks he's got the speed. He wants to keep on going, trying to minimize that drag down the straightaways. He's almost fully gone into turtle mode there, just ducking into the car.
Yeah, and Blake just went purple with the 54.52, but McQueen's not too far off, just a couple hundredths behind. But being behind, you're not going to catch.
No, you've got to start to put pressure here as much as you can. The Allen car losing a little bit of time to Ardias up ahead of him.
Yeah, the field's pretty
spread out.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I'm looking at the field here, and it's like everyone's pretty gapped out. Not a lot of challenging efforts going on the circuit currently, but we'll see if that changes here as the race progresses.
I think our closest battle right now is really back for about 7th position. That's a mind meld with our director right there. I did not know he was going to cut to that. That's Eric Questo and Pierce Jasso.
Yeah, they're one step ahead. It's like they can read our mind.
Exactly. Yeah, so right now, Questo trying to hold off the attack here from Jasso right now. That's the 325 behind the green specced cart there. Excuse me, the teal specced cart of Questo. Jasso in the more white cart, white and black. He's going to take a look down to the inside of turn 5. The 325 tries to get it done. Questo fights back. He'll have to go around the outside, hopping up onto the curb, goes Jasso, and he's got the move, but Questo tries to fight him back. No room at the end.
And that allowed, I think, you to catch them, if I am not, yeah, the 3.67 of,
Min Yu.
yeah.
All right, so there they go. Love that camera angle coming down into turn 10 because you can see the carts just squirm under braking. You can see the force that's being applied there.
Yep. Well, a little defensive mood there, so you definitely has got some momentum going right here. It's going to be a matter of time because it's sitting there looking like Questo is a little loose on his chassis right now and just scrubbing some speed on those exits to the corners.
Yeah, it looks like he's just losing a little bit here. He's just falling back a little bit from Jasso. Pierce, it just doesn't look like he's quite got the speed to close down on him. I think Questo's probably just, or Min Yang probably just kind of studying a little bit here, figuring out what that approach can be. Doesn't want to get too close in front to necessarily prompt anything, just learning where he can attack, where he needs to lay it back a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. So just trying to look here and see if there's any other battles on the track. Doesn't look like it. Everyone's pretty gapped out except for what we currently have here on camera.
This is our closest battle. Again, this between Eric Questo in that 300 kart, Min Yang Yu. Battle for 8th place right now. Nicholas Eugenin, about 2 seconds behind these two drivers, so they've got some time to be able to fight if they want.
Yeah, just shade under 5 minutes. A lot of racing left to go here, so we'll see if Questo can continue going on. But looks like you got a good run through that section there and definitely closed the gap.
Yeah, this is definitely the point where Min Yang Zhu can start to put a little bit of pressure to the back here of Questo. But loses a little bit of time. Not quite able to get it there.
And then Nash is what, 1.6 lead over McQueen, so I'm sure Caden's just sitting out there by himself, comfortable knowing that he's going to be starting off pole. And just in his mind trying to figure out what we got to do to this chassis to speed it up.
Yeah, and I want to give credit to Caden McQueen. He's not letting Nash slip off into the distance. He's keeping this gap pretty consistently at about 1.5, 1.6 seconds. It has been very, very close. The focus here.
Yeah, I mean, Nash just went purple with the 54.06. Couple tenths faster than McQueen that last lap, but their best laps are not too far off, just by 500ths of each other. And he got a pass right here, the 393.
That's Ardias. That's Ardias, able to get it done.
On Karai, the 290 or the 396. So good for Ardias.
Yeah, able to just slowly but surely piece his way forward. That's a name we called a lot about a month ago when we were here. Unfortunately, I think I just saw Sean Dick off to the inside of turn 9, so that's obviously a park for him. And Tyler also down 8 laps, so that gamble for both of those drivers to start on sticker tires not playing out here in this pre-final.
No, but there's still going to be stickers pretty much for the final because not many laps are going to be on those. But hey, it's a gamble you take, and I have a feeling that's going to gamble we're going to see on these larger classes such as the ROK Mini that we have following this ROK Pro class. So.
Yeah, I got to think you're right about that. Nash's gap in the lead now up to 1.8 seconds. Keep going here right now. As they run, we keep our eyes focused on that battle. There's your leader, Blake Nash, at the front of the field. Haven't given him a whole lot of love because he has just been absolutely dominant up at the front. Nash doing a fantastic job. There's the 324 of Blake Nash. Comes through turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. Up in the lead. He's grown the gap up to about 2 seconds. Setting the fastest lap of the race as he does so. That's a 53.87 for Blake Nash. Everything just calm and collected here for Nash. 11 laps in. He'll cross the line here. I'm going to wager a guess that this is probably going to be 3, maybe 4 laps to go with the line. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be 4 laps. Yeah, it's going to be 4 laps for Blake Nash as he'll cross over the line here. As we look back, trying to check back through the order, looks like we've got a pretty good battle going on. Nicholas Eugenion's been able to get by both Eric Cuesto and Minyang Zhu. All right, there is Blake Nash, continues down through the corners. Nicholas Eugenion had a really good run there, moving up into 8th place over Cuesto and Minyang Zhu. Remember, that was a battle that we talked about a little bit earlier. Cuesto and Zhu, though, they may be at it again. There it is. And that's the battle you see on your screen. No, excuse me, that's Karai and D'Alencar. D'Alencar looking to the outside right now. Oh, going to send a big sneak attack down to the inside. Does 357 of Victor D'Alencar. Gets it done. A little bit of a fight back here from Dominic Karai. As there they come back onto the back straight. 3 laps to go here. Pushing their way ahead. Looks like D'Alencar's been able to take that position and relatively hold on to it, not really having too much pressure. 2 laps to go, by the way, for Blake Nash. Get a 2.2 second gap up at the front of the field. There is your leader, Blake Nash, who has not done by any stretch of the imagination. You saw him just duck down there on the back straightaway and continue to try to push. He's going to come across the stripe here and get the white flag from the flagman. 1 lap to go for Blake Nash. And that ducking down was certainly worth it. A 53.77, fastest lap of the race for Blake Nash. Nash brings that Nash Motorsports machine down through turn 6. Pilots his way down to the braking zone for turn 10. Now through the final corner comes Blake Nash to the line. Here he comes. Can he set another fastest lap as he does it? No, he can't, but Nash will take victory. Caden McQueen comes home P2, and it's our DS, the D'Alencar, Karai, Carvajal, Pierce Jasso, Shannon, Questo, Zhu, rounding out your top 10. Good run for all of them, it has to be said, and a fantastic run for Blake Nash, and a fantastic race here for ROK GP Pro, powered by Velocity Racing. Gonna head to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back after that with ROK Mini, powered by AM Engines.
27 years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters, and as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became two, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Paddock Award, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
Oh, yeah.
As they enter into the acceleration zone, green flag flies. We are racing. Big slide farther back in the pack. Couple of micros going a little bit sideways, but they're going to hold it together. Pressure from Luca Besseril. Besseril looks outside for speed. Now down into turn 4. He got it. This position going to go to the inside of turn 1. Got it. The lead of it. Whoa, cross back, crossover.
I don't think battling each other is the way to go right here.
Oh, almost a little bit of a swiggle there for Trusho in that purple car. Here comes Del Bon to the line. Look at him, he's so excited. Welcome back to the ROK Cup Florida Winter Tour as we get ready for ROK Mini, powered by AM Engines. Pushing our way ahead here at this point. From the Orlando Kart Center, we just saw Blake Nash storm to victory, as he's really done quite a few times in that ROK GP Pro powered by Velocity Racing. Very, very good to see Blake doing that. It's going to be interesting to see how that'll play out come race time itself. And it looks like the minis are headed out on track. This is always, always a good time to be able to watch.
Yeah, like this is our favorite. We say that all the time, but yeah, this is one of my favorite classes. Some of the cleanest racing we can see. One of the bigger classes that we have as well. So we'll see what happens here. And my theory is anybody going out on new tires. I'm not sure yet. I have not got my pit reporter to respond back to me yet, so we will soon find out.
All right, as they make their way out and around right now, everybody just doing those warm-up laps to get everything together.
Shaking the karts down, scrubbing those tires in, getting a little heat in them. Should start slowing down here, getting to their formation as they come down turn 9 into 10 on that backstretch. The flags are out. Oh, we got 141 is off track right now. Need some help there. Turtled up on the curbing.
Yeah, this may send them around for another round here, depending on how this shakes.
Yeah, that was Jaden Spielman, so not sure what happened there. Just depends what they want to do. They could just send them. Looks like Spielman is catching up right there. By the time they go around, we should be okay. Yeah, well, he's in the back, so we'll see.
We'll see how this goes.
You know what is interesting here is look who's starting at 22nd.
Orioli. He had a couple of rough runs.
Yeah, but we know he has the pace and the speed, so he's going to be one of the ones that I'm interested to see is if he went out on new tires. But from what my pit reporter Dom said, Kart 106 is the only one, which is Orioli, on brand new tires.
On stickers. This is going to be interesting. Keep your eyes on that 106 here, folks. Here as they line up into the starting grid, giving the indications. Nico Salazar brings us to the green. Everybody trying to shift over onto that line. Excuse me, it's Jaden Francisco leads us to the green. Francisco is going to lead us around. Cooper Lorenzo Lopez right in behind as they get through turn one. Everybody through cleanly. There it is. Francisco and Lorenzo Lopez as they dive down into turn number 5. It's the first heavy braking zone on the circuit. Everybody through cleanly. Here they go.
Yeah, and I'm looking to see Lopez make a move early here like he's been doing and see if he can do anything on that lead Kart that we have right there, the 131 of Francisco, who just started from pole, took it from the pole. But Lopez was able to get that from the second spot down, tuck under, didn't get what we call the sucker hole, and get pushed back.
Yeah, didn't get pushed back, didn't get pushed wide, so that's good there for him. Here as they go down onto the second back straightaway into turn 11 and 12. They work their way forward, bringing their way on through.
Yeah, I'm looking forward as we cross the line here. Let's see how many spots that Kart number 106, Santiago Orioli, makes up on those new tires.
All right, Francisco leads over Lorenzo Lopez. Orioli up 5, already into 18th. We'll keep you abreast on his progress up through the field as things go along.
Yeah, you just got to see what you got to do when you get back that far, and you got to be very patient. The last thing he needs to do is start back at the end of the field.
Yeah.
Especially on tires that already have some laps on them.
Exactly. He doesn't want to do that. Francisco up in front here. It looks like Lorenzo Lopez trying to put a little bit of pressure to him, trying to keep his way ahead right now. Salazar behind, Alex Chandler, Camila Kanash.
Yeah, all the kids are being very good. You filed in, just kind of sitting here buying their time. Like I said, long race, not as long as the seniors, but still a 10-minute plus 2 laps, which is longer than what they've been normally running in these heat races. So being very patient, just kind of pick their time and see who kart's going to start coming in certain parts of the race. And it looks like Lopez is catching Francisco there.
Yeah, it looks like this could start to turn into a little bit of a battle. They've got to watch out because Alex Chandler right behind him in that white Kart with that neon helmet is officially in this battle in the 196. So Chandler right there. And if these two really start to go at it, Francisco and Lorenzo Lopez, Chandler's going to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, and right there, Chandler set the fastest lap of the race. But I'm looking down there, and Orioli's already up to 15th. So making their way up through the field. And here we go. We got Chandler going and decided to tuck back in. Smart move. A look over, got the inside run. I believe he's got the position. Didn't give him much there that Lopez did, but good recovery there by Chandler for the second spot. Now let's see if he can run down Francisco here.
Yeah, Nico Salazar also in that Orsilon chassis, not too far behind as well. He's going to try to close on in.
Yeah, he closed down as well, so good little 4-kart battle up front here.
They're going to keep pushing.
Going on, and it looks like Chandler replaced his nose.
Yeah,
so he's got that white nose in that second spot, that Kart 196. Great run down the back stretch into turn 10. As you can see right there, Lopez is asking for a little help from that 138 of Salazar.
Yeah, just wants to try to close that gap a little bit more. Doesn't feel like he's got the straight speed to be able to get it.
No, and sometimes if you start in the back, and that's like if I was Orioli, I bet you anything, he'd put a little bit bigger gear because he knows he's going to have to work through and dive that kart in corners to be able to pick up those positions. So you need a little bit more gear to get that kart up and going. Unlike these guys who are in the front, who start on the front, they can put a little bit smaller gear on and then roll, but I'm not sure what is this one. This is Mini is allowed to change their gears. Micro cannot. They have a set gear.
So again, one of those little technical things that the teams can kind of go back and change around depending on where you're starting, depending on what you need to be thinking about doing. Four-car breakaway really here at the front. Camilla Panache and Cameron Johnson, Lawrence Perriman far behind this battle. This is really a four-car fight up for the lead, just about to hit the 5-minute mark here in this race.
Yeah, but I don't think that other group of carts is out of it yet, because we've seen this happen. The top four here start battling, 1 second slower a lap compared to what Kanash and Johnson are going to be doing. Next thing you know, you're going to have a 4-cart, then it's going to turn into a 7-cart battle.
Yeah, it very well could. That gap's not big enough. Oh, something happened to Clayton Stiles and Robert Tronson Jr. Stiles falling down through the order there. That may have just been a little bit of a train getting run, but nevertheless. Big move to the inside for Nico Salazar.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there. Orioli's already up to 12, expecting a top 10 for him, and it's going to be fun to watch him tomorrow in the main. How of a disadvantage is he going to be on tires that have basically 12 laps on, 13 laps on?
It'll be interesting to see. It'll certainly be a storyline that we'll be able to follow tomorrow for sure. Look behind there for Alex Chandler in that white-nosed cart. Lorenzo Lopez in the red. Salazar taking another look to the inside of Lorenzo Lopez. Not able to get it done. He's going to keep trying to push ahead a little bit. Here they come down into turns 1 and 2. Little bit of a gap starting to grow here for Jaden Francisco, it has to be said.
Yeah, that's got to feel comfortable. Here we got a move right here with Lopez on Chandler. Oh, little muscle right there, but we'll see if he can make that stick and see if Chandler's going to give a little payback there. But no, just lost one spot. But what that's doing is that's allowing Francisco just to check out even more.
Yeah, and that checkout for Francisco is going to be absolutely mega. If he's able to just kind of get into that cruising pattern, we've seen him really be able to just, well, frankly, to double use a term, cruise up at the front of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what I'm looking at here, so I found out why Orioli started in the back. I guess there was a tech penalty.
Okay.
So for the penalty and tech, he ended up going back. And that could have been anything. I don't know what it is, but that was the reason why he started so far to back. Because I know we were talking about him through heats 2 and 3. And so that's why he started back. But he's already up to 11th. Good for him. Good run. Just get prepared for the final tomorrow. Get yourself as far up as you possibly can. And I'm not sure if they're smart enough. I'm sure they're pretty smart. But if they're cognitive enough in the middle of a race to figure out, okay, I'm in 9th. I want to sit on the inside row. Right. I'm going to give up a spot.
Yeah, so that's going to be a question. Because, how many times have we seen that the driver's just losing out onto that inside, or on that outside, rather?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see what's going on here. Not a ton of action going on right now, but kind of settled in with a little over 2 minutes left, plus the 2. So we're looking at probably about 4 minutes left in this event. And looking for some action in the back of the pack somewhere else. And just Johnson got around Kanash. So Cameron's up to 5th. Good run for him. Great starting spot for tomorrow.
Chandler just set the fastest lap of the race at a P3. That's actually who we watch on your screen right now as he tries to chase down Cooper Lorenzo Lopez. Here he goes. Working his way down through the corner. I like what I'm seeing here out of Alex Chandler. We know he's got the speed. We know he's got the ability to get on by. He's just being cautious. He doesn't want to throw this all away. And I think also, to your point, maybe thinking big brain about this, thinking big picture, that he doesn't want to make that pass into second because he doesn't want to start on the outside tomorrow.
Well, I'm noticing something here. We haven't really talked about it because we haven't talked about Francisco, but look at the gap. It's down to under a second right now.
It could be closing a little bit.
Definitely closing. A little lap traffic right there. So we'll see what happens. But this is going to end up being at the end here with 3 to go pretty much. My guess is Lopez and Chandler are going to work together. And did you see him right there? He was like, yeah, let's go. So they can smell the blood in the water. Let's see if they can just pounce on it.
Well, this is the point that we've seen a lot of the pushing happen. I don't quite think that Chandler's quite close enough to give Cooper Lorenzo Lopez that push that he needs to coming down into turn 7.
Yeah, got a little what you like to call slideways there, going into 7 and 8. A decent run down 9. We'll see what they can do, but they'll get 2 to go here in a little bit as they go across the line. But, yeah, they kind of slowly snuck up on Francisco. I really wasn't paying attention to that because there was such good racing between them, but then I kind of looked up and they closed the gap by another 10th there. I don't know if they got enough time or not, but we'll see.
There you see that little tap to the back of the head. Chandler, fastest lap of the race yet again, a 1 minute flat 09. 2 laps to go for these drivers. They're going to keep pushing ahead here as much as they can. Let's see. Big little hop, skip, and a jump there for Cooper Lorenzo Lopez. He keeps doing that out of the corners. He knows he wants to get enough oomph on that cart to get himself ahead. All right, here they come down into turn 9. Chandler continues to just trail in behind. That 5th car you see in shot, by the way, that is not a car on the lead lap. That is a lap down. It's the all-white cart. Coming to the white flag here will be Jaden Francisco.
Oh, they closed a lot right there going through that middle section of the track. But let's see if seems like Francisco has a little bit more to 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, I think that's what he has. All right, now it's now or never time for Chandler if he wants to make this pass, or if he's thinking big brain about this and wants to start 3rd. It's not the worst position in the world to be.
I would absolutely rather start 3rd than 2nd.
I would too.
100% here, but they are closing in on Francisco very quick here. At the line, it was almost 4/10. I bet you that's under 4/10 of a second now.
Keep going down through the corners. Down on the back straightaway here. Francisco checking behind him multiple times. Last time into turn 10. Does Chandler have anything for Francisco here through the flick of 7 and 11? We've seen some sneaky moves get done into turn 13, and that's exactly what Cooper.
Oh, look who took it inside right there. Chandler just sitting back and being patient.
And he gets it. He will cut the line to take victory. It's a photo finish between Francisco and Cooper Lorenzo Lopez. Cooper Lorenzo Lopez will end up 3rd. Francisco 2nd. Salazar 4th. Cameron Johnson 5th.
That was fantastic. Oh, man, way to go. Alex Chandler sat back there in 3rd, was patient, waiting on them to make a mistake. They both went for it, and he ended up capitalizing on
It's
that.
absolutely perfect. I mean, we talked about that patience there from Chandler, and I'd be interested to talk to him to see exactly what that kind of mentality was, if there was the opportunity of, well, I'm going to take this now, or what exactly it was. But one way or the other, brilliant stuff there from Alex Chandler. That is going to be a driver to watch come tomorrow. But in the meantime, that is it for ROK Mini powered by AM Engines. We'll be back in a few minutes for the ROK VLR Masters powered by Rocket Racing Engines. But in the meantime, we're going to go pay the bills.
27 years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters. And as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became 2, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Paddock Award, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America, and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
Welcome back to the ROK Cup Florida Winter Tour, round 2 from the Orlando Kart Center. We are ready for ROK VLR Masters, powered by Rocket Racing Engines, getting ready to see who is going to be able to get out onto the track and take this to go. This has been really one of the more fascinating series that we've had over the course of this weekend, because it has been Lorenzo Mardin that has been up at the front for the majority of these runnings. But that's not the tail of the tape here, Jason.
No, he's not the fastest kart out there, but, you know, Elefante's made some mistakes. By far the fastest kart on the track. But then you have ROK, who didn't even show up for Heat 2. Not sure what was going on there. Who's second fastest kart that we've had, really second or third fastest kart. Then we had Caligaro. So all three of those karts have shown faster pace than what Mardin has, who has won every one of our heats.
Yeah, but Mardin's the only one with something to show for it, and sense why this is going to get so interesting. I'm going to be very interested to see if there's a different change in approach, let's call it, from Paul Elefante. We've seen him be, I don't want to say hyper-aggressive, but definitely contentious, definitely pushing a little bit early on, and I'm going to be very interested to see if he maybe tries to lay back a little bit more once this gets going.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that the top 8 are all within... I mean, you can throw a blanket over them if they can be smart and not try to dive on each other within the first lap. Be smart, file in line, and let's just start working together and picking it off, because I'm looking at the lap times here, and all the way down to 9th place, you know, the only one that's really not on pace, and no offense to Kart 711, but, you know, everyone else is within striking distance of each other. Yeah, but, I mean, Elefante by far, you know, by 0.4 faster. And we saw him, you know, twice he spun. He came back to get a podium spot. So definitely has the speed there and just needs the consistency. So we will tell here shortly. I mean, I don't think it's going to be Elefante. I think something's going to happen. He's going to end up making a mistake somewhere. Just because he's just aggressive driver.
He is.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not.
My Caligaro's kind of my little dark horse here. Like, I think, you know, he got a little bit in trouble in Heat 3, so this is going to allow him to move up. But didn't finish bad, starting third here, so he's starting behind Mardin. So that's going to be good. And ROK's going to be starting on the outside, but Elefante is going to be starting in right behind ROK as well. So you have two of the fastest cars right there together.
Yeah, and so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays. There you see them all coming out. That is Mardin in that white and let's call it pink machine up front.
It's red. It is a true red. I think our camera angles are something.
All right.
Yeah, Techno's red and white. So it's but a little bit more of a white nose on the front. So good to see that. But yeah, I know what this race can be, and that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
I know what this race can be, and we haven't seen it yet, but
we can.
Knowing how evenly matched all these guys are, and the other person that we haven't even talked about, Falcone.
Yeah, Scott Falcone, your winner from last time out when we were here for round 1. Falcone, one of those drivers that really just came alive over the course of last weekend. Had some luck fall his way. Let's not beat around the bush on that, but certainly definitely a driver that has the potential to move his way up into the order and to be a little bit threatening.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's always a threat no matter where he goes. Coming off a victory of Circuit of Americas out west, did very well last week at SCUSA. So, and like you said, he didn't qualify very well, but he's just a much better racer.
Yeah. A much, much better racer here. But let's see how they go. It's going to be Mardin and Delbon as they get their way up forward. Lining up into those start zones. Giving the indication is the flagman as they enter on in, and there we go. Mardin takes off, and that's a great getaway for that inside Caligaro, but trying to hold it around the outside is going to be Talbon. Everybody through the first corner cleanly. Talbon loses a couple of positions.
All right, way to go, guys. Good, clean start right there. Let's see what happens here. They're doing exactly what I said. File in. Long race, 12 minutes plus 2. Plenty of racing there. All of a sudden, the top 3 is already gapped a little bit there. And that is, who is that?
That's the 734 right there, or the 704. That's Caligaro.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm good now.
So that's 1, 2, 3, and that's Elefante trying to make a move through 11 and 12. Looks for it, doesn't get it, falls back into line. Is he maybe going to have a little sneak there? No, excuse me, that's Bernardo.
Barnaby, right?
Barnabo, yeah.
Yeah, he had a heck of a start. That is crazy.
And that is a mislabel on your timing and scoring there. Martin is in the lead of this race ahead of Barnabo, not Elefante. We'll hopefully get that figured out when it comes back around. But a little bit of 3-drive action trying to go down into turn number 6 as they get themselves sorted out. Barnabo trying to sort things out there.
I'm confused because it's saying 7. Oh, yeah, we're 1 off. So, yeah, showing Martin must not be picking up his
And Barnabo's got the pass, and here comes Elefante. Almost driven down to the grass by Martin. 2-for-1 move Elefante up to the point.
All right. We're not surprised on that, but let's see what he can do, and let's see. Oh, no! Barnabo! Oh, I don't know what happened there. Martin went over the grass, and that just not what people want to see is Elefante with clear track.
Yeah, Elefante's going to absolutely streak off here at this point.
Is that Vermeer right there in third right now? Or? Oh, yeah, it's Vermeer in third. Elefante, no, Vermeer in second?
No, there's a transponder issue from Martin.
Okay, so Martin's in second, Vermeer's in third. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
2 techno carts, they look very much alike.
They
so,
do.
Different helmets, though.
Yeah, so let's be clear about that. We believe there's a transponder issue for Lorenzo Martin in that what is listed on your screen as 9th place. He is actually in second. We will update you as to what his position ends up being over the course of the race.
Yeah, that's the Kart 782, but that's his teammate, Christian Vermeer, right behind him. And Christian's just been not the fastest kart. He's actually been about a half a second slower than the leaders, but just consistently running good, clean laps and picking his way through. Little high.
Oh, car spun in the back.
There's 2 carts. I wonder if there's something on the track right there. Because Martin went off track, kicked up a bunch of dirt on the track.
And I wonder if they're catching the dirt.
Yeah, because Vermeer washed wide and then another kart spun. So I bet you there's a lot of dirt on that track.
There is as well. Johnny Ruck falling back down to 8th. I think that's who we saw spin.
Yeah.
Unfortunate there. That was one of the drivers you really picked out as having a lot of speed.
Yeah, and he showed it, but, it's not a huge class. And starting in the back, 8th, 7th, 6th, Ardell Bond's all the way down to 7th. So having those 2 fast guys in the back probably isn't going to be too much of an issue for them.
No, Elefante coming true on the promise that he has sort of been given this entire weekend, that Elefante is dominating here up at the front. It's about, I don't know if it's a full 2.2 seconds. Again, that transponder issue with Martin a little bit strange there, so probably let's call it about a 2-second gap between himself and Vermeer over Martin.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's the other techno. I think 734?
That's the 732 of...
754 of Pavin.
Yeah, that's Pavin closing in behind.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Pavin going to try to close down on Christian Vermeer here. This is the battle for 3rd place.
Yeah, and then that's Caligaro, who I said was my dark horse, is right there in the hunt as well. It's kind of like he's got kind of the Penske submarine orange suit on.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Like
that's
that.
a little reminiscent of Rocket Rick, to be completely honest, but we're here for it. He's going to keep going around right now. 7 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and Pavin is closed up on the back of Vermeer right now, so we'll see if Christian can hold him off or if Pavin's going to be able to make the pass. It looks like he's going in to set up for it right here, but Vermeer ended up closing the door on him there. Let's see what they can do in 5. try it here and made it stick. A little over-under pass, maybe?
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a love tap back there for Christian Vermeer. We'll definitely let him know he's there, but not really able to do anything about it. That'll move Pavon up into P3 behind Lorenzo Martin. Elefante continuing to set blistering pace up at the front of the field. Really one of the only drivers to tickle down into the 59s.
Yeah, Martin's at 59 as well. It's interesting because he's back up picking up now, but somehow he must have missed the loop, or I don't know what happened where he's showing one lap down, but that is not correct. But Vermeer picked up some speed this time, and a lot of drivers got pace, and a little shocked that it kind of worked its way out this way right now, because most of the middle of the pack, take Elefante at a 59.01 there, just laying down blistering laps to blistering laps. No surprise. But, Pavon, Vermeer, Caligaro, Bernabeu, Isaac, Delbon, and ROK all have equivalent pace.
Yeah, they're all very, very similar, and so that's kind of the problem here for Bernabeu and Delbon and ROK, those that have fallen back through the order, is it's not like they're massively oversped as compared to everybody else. They're running similar lap times, and when you're running similar lap times like that, you're not going to catch up.
No, and again, nine karts in a field, you're all going to be starting pretty close to each other, so how hard are you going to push it? Are you going to try to wear your equipment out? Probably not.
Yeah. All right, we watch Christian Vermeer right now. Ademar Caligaro on your screen. That red and white kart leading the way. The yellow fire suit from Caligaro, pretty noticeable. Takes about a peek up to the inside. Coming into turn 5, decides not to go for it. He's going to hold back.
Good run there. He'll get through right here. Yeah,
he's going to think about it. He's got it.
Yeah.
Gives a little bit of a thank you there. I think Vermeer probably gave him a little bit of room at Apex.
Yeah, like I said, I was talking to Christian a little bit over the weekend, and not real happy with his pace. Mm-hmm. I've raced against Christian before, and he's always been up front. So he's been up front, being very diligent with how he's racing, being clean, being smart. But I think he's a little frustrated with the pace that he has out of that kart.
And how frustrating is that as a driver? I mean, somebody who experiences you when you've got the technical ability to whip the car around the track, but the kart's just not there underneath you.
Yeah, and for me, Christian's tall. Like, a lot of this stuff is, if you're not familiar with karting, like, tall and bigger upper body is not a good combination for a go-kart. Because that weight just bounces around and just causes the chassis to load and unload. So, Christian's tall. I mean, he's probably 6'2", and not tiny, So you get frustrated that way. You're like, okay, physically, what can I do to myself to get myself smaller to be able to be faster in a go-kart? But there's things you can do to the chassis, and those guys know how to tune these chassis. They've been in this business for so long and so experienced. And Christian didn't run. I haven't seen Christian run for a while. I've seen Martin run quite a bit. He runs with USPKS and a lot of them are stars. He runs with stars so much. But I haven't seen Christian at all run. So this is probably like a comeback race for Christian, which I'm happy to see. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. Fun to run with. Clean racer. So hopefully this is like a little comeback for him. He's going to continue running, and hopefully we can see these guys in Houston.
Yeah, and for those wondering, around the same time next month, I'll pull up the exact dates here for you, but we will be back in Houston for round 3, and that's going to be the weekend of the 21st.
My birthday's the 22nd.
Oh, he gets to celebrate in Houston. Unfortunately, you're not going to hear me on the microphone.
I know. I don't know who I'm going to hear on the microphone next time.
I don't know who we're going to get next to you, but yeah.
Scottish DJ?
No. DJ's going to be out in the middle of a desert performing to 5 people. But that will be what happens there. Cleaning off the track in the background. I don't know if you saw that. We had a guy with a leaf blower, to your point, cleaning off some of that debris that we saw.
Yeah, it was interesting to see because you saw Vermeer car just completely washing up the track. able to keep it under control, but then immediately behind him was ROK that just went whoop. Yeah, so it was very interesting there. But, yeah, so Elefante's under control. A little bit over a 5-second lead over Mardan. And then we'll see what's going on with that. Looks like Caligaro is catching. Well, that's actually Caligaro.
Yeah.
And that's Mardan. So we'll see what's going on here. He's catching Mardan. Again, we don't have that live scoring with Mardan for some reason because of that lap that got missed. But visually, we can see him closing the gap.
Visually, we can see it. 7:54 of Pavon. That's Pavon.
That's Pavon.
Yeah,
yes.
Pavon closing down on Mardan. Caligaro is the one in that yellow driver's
Yeah,
suit.
that's right. Yeah. Who was closing down on them. And then
He was, and then it looked like he just lost some time, so I'm not sure exactly what happened there to him.
and sometimes you're just like, eh.
Yeah.
It's a long race. We're older. Get tired. It's like tomorrow's another day. I mean, they've spent a lot of time on the track today.
They have. I mean, they have done what ostensibly amounts to 3 complete races here. 10 minutes plus 2, 10 minutes plus 2, and now 12 minutes plus 2. That takes a wear and tear on your body.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it takes a wear and tear on your equipment. And so impressed with these ROK VLR engines, like running at full song and not a problem. I haven't seen any engine failures through the ROK GP motors, through any of the mini or the micro engines, and especially these VLR engines. So what a great package they've put together.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive. And let's also give some credit here to the chassis manufacturers as well. The multitudes that we have in this paddock haven't really seen any sort of mechanical gremlins coming to strike any of these drivers over the course of the weekend. Not even, slip gear or anything like that.
No.
Everything is really functioned exactly as it should, both in round 1 and round 2.
Yeah, but this is a professional racing series.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You've seen through the interviews that we've done with Nash and with Rawlinson Performance Group and all of that, what these teams bring. And I'm telling you right now, if I am running a ride from a team and I have a mechanical failure, I am not going to be happy.
Right.
Now, I understand if an engine goes, that's mechanical. But like if something falls off of a cart or something like that, that's not acceptable at this level of racing. Elefante, little
how you doing there as he gets the 2 to go mark across the line.
So.
Gotta love that. I don't know if that was a piece or a hang loose.
It was
whatever.
both.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he did a little both. So good to see that. And again, not surprised at all with this. He a little bit more patient in this race. Got out front immediately. He's going to start from the pole, which is going to be a concern for anybody else that's in this class right now, that he's going to be starting from the pole. But if I'm sitting there as Pavon and I'm closing up on Mardan, does he have the width to know where he's at on track right now? And we talk about this a lot, but it really does matter. I don't want to be on the outside.
No, I don't either. And I would be curious here for Mardan if he's maybe. Well, look at this. They've caught up.
Yeah, I saw Caligaro right there on the back of Pavon as well. So.
Yeah, so we're going to take a look here at these as they come across the line. Yeah, there it is. There's Mardan. Pavon.
Last lap, 1 to go. So we'll see what happens here.
He starts to pull away a little bit more there.
Well, I think Pavon kind of realized that Caligaro was right there now. What a late breaking move. That was fantastic. I think that completely caught Pavon on surprise there. Let's see if he can do anything to pay it back. As we go through here, through the junkyard turn is the next passing opportunity that we're going to come upon here. But do you want to sit there and keep your momentum going? As you saw, Caligaro being very defensive going into that. But we'll see what happens here going into 10. Little motion down. Oh! And they took Mardan. I don't know what happened to Mardan there.
I think Mardan tried to give him as much room as possible and go around the outside, and he just got collected.
But they weren't even close to Mardan. He looked like he locked his brakes up and went high.
Maybe.
I don't know what happened there. That was interesting. So,
all right. Well, Paul Elefante takes the win over Pavon. Then Ademar Caligaro and Lorenzo Mardan Isaac and Vormir going to come in behind. Bernabu, Dalbon, and ROK.
Yeah, I wish I could. That was weird.
That was strange.
Yeah,
that was not what I was expecting.
They were gassed. Mardan had a decent length of a lead right there. So I'm not sure what's going on. There's Elefante. I like the color. I like the livery of the Rocket Racing team.
Yeah, I do too. I've always been a fan of purple race cars. They look good.
Absolutely.
There it is. There's the recognition of the team and the happiness there.
And the 754 of Pavon on that Parolin, looking good. Christian right there. Yeah, I wish we had replay. Be nice to see what happened. So if anybody wants to open up a GoFundMe for for a replay machine for ROK, appreciate that.
Yeah, there you see him kind of talking about what happened there.
Yeah, it's good to be talking, not to be throwing fists. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's tomorrow's going to be great. And then I don't know, Mardan doesn't look too happy right there, but smartest guy in the books right there. Always keep your helmet on until you get back to your trailer. So if anybody's throwing punches, it's going to be not to your dome.
Yep. Well, all right. There's we see everybody down on the lane there. One of our
Brian Robson, one of our tech guys right there. Brian, if you don't know who Brian is, you haven't been in this industry long at all.
Exactly. All right, folks, that's going to wrap up our VLR Masters round powered by Rocket Racing Company. We're going to shift on over into VLR Junior presented by Royalson Performance Group. We'll be headed there in just a few moments, but we're going to take a quick break away, pay the bills quickly.
Years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters, and as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became two, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Pato Award, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
Welcome back to the ROK Cup Florida Winter Tour Round 2 at Orlando Kart Center. It's time for VLR Junior, powered by Royalson Performance Group. And a little bit of a surprise here, Jason. Nobody going for that sticker tire option in a big category.
Yeah, I am shocked on that one. I thought for sure if you're sitting 20th or beyond, 15th even, we talked about, to get that advantage because, picking up spots is going to be difficult tomorrow with everybody on new tires. So I don't know. They're out there. I'm not out there. So their call.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It is going to be Alexander Vanchev that will lead the way over Edward Kennedy, Medeiros, Salamau, and Jensen, your top 10 or top 5 rather here. So that's going to bring everybody around. There we see him starting to form up 2 by 2. This is presented by Royalson Performance Group. And it looks like that's a waved off start. Field not bunched up enough.
I'm looking here, so my dark horse I can pick here is Gutierrez. Finished second in heat 3, starting back in the field a little bit, had a bad second heat, starting at 8th. So we'll see, he had a definite rocket ship in that heat 3. And almost took the win over Kennedy.
Yeah, almost was able to do it. We'll have to see if he's able to do it this time around. It's going to be interesting to see. All right, again, false starts. We're going to reform the field here at this point, get everybody racked up and stacked up again. Behind Alexander Vanchev, Kennedy, Madero, Salamau, Jensen. Everybody just forming themselves around here.
Yeah, just getting back in line, getting up to those commitment cones, or formation cones, I guess I should say. Get yourself in line, ready to go. Big field.
Yeah, it's a very, very big field. We're talking over 30 carts here.
37 carts. Definitely our largest class of the weekend.
And you love to see it here, especially out of a junior category like this. That means the pipeline is strong. There are plenty of carters and drivers making their way up and on in. All right, there we see.
No. Rollison Performance Group.
As there goes the green, we are officially racing. Vanchev going to lead the way. Big hit into the wire.
Oh, the 890, he does not look happy. I hope he's okay. He does not look good. Couple carts off there, the 819 and the 890. That's Gutierrez that hit the inside barrier with 819 spinning with his Papa skew.
Oh, that looked very, very rough. Hope
Yeah.
they're okay there. Definitely saw a little bit of a wince from the inside there. Hope those drivers are okay, particularly Gutierrez. Meanwhile, up at the front, Vanchev does lead. They come in behind here. Coming through 11 and 12 right now. No sneak attack moves there. Vanchev just wants to stretch his advantage. That's what he's been able to do a couple of times over the course of today. Let's see if he's able to do it here. Madero's directly behind him, able to move up a couple of positions. Then Jensen, Kennedy, Salamau. Your top 5. And Vanchev starting to press that advantage already.
Yeah, they're all kind of fanned out here, so a little surprised, not more dicey. There's a move for the inside there with the 869 at Kennedy. Back up to 3rd, so we'll see what goes on here. As you have Vanchev, who's been pretty dominant in this class. We've got a Orso on Kart off there.
All right, battle for 3rd and 4th here is the one we want to keep our eye on. This is Drew Jensen and Edward Kennedy. This is exactly what you're talking about. Kennedy's actually been able to get by Jensen, so that puts Kennedy up into 3rd right now.
Yeah, he's got his eyes set on that 807 of Moderos. Let's see if he can get up there. Plenty of time, still 10 minutes to go. Yeah, Kennedy didn't get the best of starts. Not as bad as Gutierrez.
No.
I'm so sorry. I'm hoping he's okay.
Got a couple of nasty licks here today. We had a card on its lid a little bit earlier. That big hit into the barriers. So definitely some rough incidents. But Kennedy right now trying to close on in. He's dropping Drew Jensen here just a little bit. There's the 869 of Kennedy on your screen. Madero's trying to close in a little bit more on Vanchev. You can also check in on that battle for 5 and 6. This is Theo Salamau and Nico Katowski.
Yeah, Nico is part of that Trinity karting group who switched over to the new Burrell Art chassis early this year. So they're still just getting these chassis dialed in, learning them with a lot of help from PSL. They're all working great together. And we're seeing right now that looks like Nico's figuring that chassis out and really has got a move at that.
Yeah, he's been able to get by Salamau and that Olsen, so that's a good run there for Nico. Up into 5th. Behind them, by the way, is Dupuis and Valentino Santillan. So that's the 4 that you see on your screen right now as they continue to charge down. Under 9 minutes left to go.
Coming through 6, 7, 8 into 9. Let's see what's going on there. Really not a lot of action. We're used to seeing a lot of action. Being very patient. My money has about 3 minutes to go. We're going to start seeing a lot more dicing, but being more strategic in the pre-final than they were in the heat races.
Well, I think they're treating this maybe a little bit more like an endurance race. Get to the end, get to that final position. We're going to jump back up to the battle here. 4, 2, and 3, I believe. Excuse me, 1 and 2, as Medeiros has been able to catch up to Alexander Vanchev. Battle on.
Yeah, as we were talking back in the field, slowly just kept chipping away at Vanchev's lead. Now he's got it within 2 tenths. Probably less than that by the time we cross the line.
Yeah, they are on top of each other here. Medeiros could even think about, or at least could have thought about maybe a move. Definitely thinks about a move down into turn 9. Does Medeiros get it done? Feeds him out. Yes, he does.
Yeah, but look who's coming behind.
It's Edward Kennedy. Big move to the out. Big move to the in for
Outside,
Alexander
inside
Vanchev.
move here. What's going to go on?
Here they go, and now that's going to be Drew Jensen on the back as well as they try to close on in.
That is just crazy how you had 2 carts checked out.
Yep.
Several cart lead, and within like a half a lap, they battling. Look what happened.
Exactly.
Oh, Kennedy on the inside right
there.
Whoa,
we haven't seen that move work in a while.
No, not all. He went from 3 to 2, and as you can see, the 807 got up on the back bumper. Who was that, Kennedy?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, right now we have...
That's
Medeiros he got on the back of.
Yeah.
You can see his nose pop up there. But the 882 or 892 of Nico Katowski's right there in the battle as well.
Nathan Dupuis as well is also in that conversation there. We're going to get a great shot of all of them as they come out. Yeah, that's 6, 7 carts almost.
Yeah.
That's 6. Oh, that's 7. That's all the way down to Theo Salamau.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you start playing defensive lines and you're not letting that cart carry the speed to the corners. You're going to be quite a bit slower than the carts behind you, and this is what happens.
Yeah, you get this big stack-up effect. Well, you were right. You were just off by about 3 minutes in terms of when we were going to get the action.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to be so defensive right there, but right there, the 807 again of Medeiros trying to make that pass through 1 and 2 stick. See what goes on here into 5. A lot of pushing going on.
Yeah, there is a lot of animosity being taken out here on a couple of these carts. This is allowing a little bit for Vanchev and Kennedy to streak off into the distance ever so slightly as Medeiros and Jensen were getting into each other.
Yeah. But that 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way down to 10 with Romero, or 9th with Romero, they are all so close.
Yeah, they are all on top of each other. Lots of moves farther back in the field. That's Salamau getting forced out in the background of that Orsilon.
Little activity there halfway through the race.
All right, top 3 breaking away here. Vanchev, Kennedy, Medeiros. Jensen now gets overtaken by Katowski. Slick move. That's not the first time we've seen that.
No.
We're seeing that inside line. If you go wide through 1 and 2, somebody's going to send one up on
absolutely. Yeah, I think Chandler proved that earlier today. That's one of his little areas that he liked to put his cart.
All right, this is the battle for the lead here. Good speed being carried in by Edward Kennedy, but doesn't necessarily want to let it play.
And they've built themselves up quite a bit, about a half a straightaway lead over Drew Jensen and Katowski. What happened to Katowski? I mean, that group is so
volatile.
Tight, yeah. They're just bouncing back and forth. I mean,
and that was Kennedy kind of running into the back there of Vanchev coming through turn 13. I thought Medeiros was going to be able to take it. Medeiros now goes wide looking for the crossover. Not going to get it, but Medeiros does set the fastest lap of the race. Wow, big off for Kennedy.
Kennedy, yeah, just trying to carry as much speed as he possibly can. Kart just slid up, and we know that there's a massive dip on that exit of that turn.
Yeah, we know just how big it is. There they go, though, down into 7. Let's see if anybody can carry momentum. Watch Medeiros here. We've seen him send a move down into 9 before. No, he backs off a little bit there. Looks like he got on the binders early.
Yeah, probably just didn't have it and realized that you've got Medeiros right on my bumper right now, and it's going to kill my momentum, and he's just going to be able to carry it down the straightaway and make that pass on the 10.
Now Medeiros is going to take a look into 11. 3:30 on the clock. Here they go. Now it's going to be move on. Medeiros again down to the inside of Kennedy as they come on to the start-finish straight. Not able to get it to play, but Medeiros letting him know he's there, and that battling is allowing for Drew Jensen to slowly reel in these drivers.
Slowly, you're right, but it's also allowing. Oh, nice! That's a little bit different line right there, but a much faster line that Medeiros does. He's doing a little bit more of an outside in.
And he's got to run on Kennedy. If he decides to try to stick this out now, he's got to give it up.
Yeah.
Outside around 7 doesn't work. We've seen it sometimes to the inside, but never to the out.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to work, especially this time of day with that much rubber on the track. Washed up on the outside groove is not going to happen, but he's going to try to make it stick here going into 10.
He's got it.
Late on the binders right there and made it stick going into 11.
And welcome to the battle here, Drew Jensen, that Nash Motorsports 858, officially in the fight for the lead.
Yeah, you had Medeiros 57 flat. Katowski runs the fastest lap of the race with 56.72.
Katowski's got some speed, but he's not too far behind. All this battling, Dupree and Katowski aren't out of this conversation yet.
They kind of broke away from that one little group that they were in, jostling around him, and it was causing them to get stuck behind and losing some ground to that lead group right there. But we'll see if they can make it, because this top 4, they're going to start dicing here any minute, and that's going to allow that duo behind them, Jensen and Katowski, to catch him.
Certainly
Katowski is right. Yeah, Katowski's in front of Jensen right now.
No, is he in front of Dupree?
Yeah, that's not. I think he's already, or maybe it's Dupree.
Let's see as they cross over the stripe here. You were right. Katowski's been able to get by Dupree for 5th.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what that is. Oh, big move for Jensen down to the inside. That's going to get by Edward Kennedy. Kennedy's going to try to fight back on him, but it's not going to play. Move Jensen into the podium spots.
Yeah, Jensen's going to start playing a defensive move here, and that's going to allow Katowski to close up on his rear bumper. Just watch. We still have 3 laps to go.
Oh! Jensen way off into the outside. Kennedy kind of forced him out there a little bit with a move down into 9. Meanwhile, Medeiros goes for the lead.
And Katowski just went for the lead on, not the lead, but the 4th spot for Jensen and got it. So now he's getting a run on Kennedy.
3 to go at the stripe here.
Manchuk got the lead still. Medeiros, Kennedy, Jensen, Katowski is now 4th.
All right, there they go. This is the battle for the lead right now. Defensive line from Alexander Vanchev. Is that going to open up a door for Medeiros? He's going to have to go around the outside. Now tries to cross it over. Great defense there by Alexander Vanchev. Just parked that car at the apex of turn 6. Didn't let him by.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't lose any momentum as well, but great defensive move right there. Defensive move right here going into, is that going to scrub the speed down into 10? We will see.
Oh, big move backwards. Taking notes from rule book Colt Herta there.
And that right there just has Kennedy back up in the game.
Oh, and there goes Medeiros up into the lead. A sneak attack move up into 11.
It's unbelievable how fast the cars close in on you when you make a move like that.
Yeah, it's really pretty remarkable. Vanchev not happy. He wants to fight back. 2 laps to go. But Medeiros holds the point.
There's Katowski in the fight as well.
All pushing each other down into turn 5. Not seeing anybody move for the overtake here.
Katalski on the inside, or the 869.
That's Kennedy.
Kennedy. I'm not going to make that stick. Surprised Katalski didn't try to stick his nose in there to keep Kennedy stuck on the outside, but no go.
Very defensive lines there into turn 9.
You will see defensive. Wait until you see 10 right here.
Yeah. There it is. Big
Arrows.
defense from Katalski. Kennedy trying to go for a 2-for-1. Doesn't get it. Has to stay in line. Medeiros looks like he's going to lead coming to the white flag. Crossing the stripe right now. Katalski tries to take a little bit of a look. He's going to try to make it multiple wide, and that's a brilliant move to get out front for Vanchev in the 806.
And look at the gaggle of carts now for the lead. This is for the lead, folks.
Yeah. This is for the lead of the race. Medeiros and Kennedy fighting tooth and nail trying to get that. That's just allowing Vanchev to waltz off into the distance.
Yeah, that's exactly what Vanchev wants to see.
Does Katalski have anything? Does Kennedy have anything for Medeiros? It may be too far out of reach here to catch up to Alexander Vanchev, but starting position very important. And who's thinking big brain? Who wants to start in those odd number positions?
Good call. Yeah, I don't think anybody's thinking big brain right now. I think this is just create chaos.
All right, here they go. Vanchev to the line. He will take victory in the pre-final, followed by Medeiros. Then it's going to be Kennedy, Katalski, Dupuis, Jensen, Salamau, Santillan, Romero, and Steinbrook. My goodness gracious, if you ever want to see why you should go kart racing, I think that is exactly why right there. My goodness. All right, race fans, we are going to take another quick break away from you here, and we will be back for the final pre-final of the day as we get ready for VLR Senior, presented by Nash Motorsports.
27 years ago, Bill Wright began the Florida Winter Tour to break up the slow winter months for karters. And as the word spread, the tour grew. Importers, teams, manufacturers, and drivers alike all came to Florida to prepare for the upcoming season. One weekend became 2, and the fun became serious fun. Since then, the karting season has started with the Florida Winter Tour, where teams compete to establish dominance for the coming summer. Drivers from all over the world look to make their name and leave their mark on the national scene, much like Paddock Award, Enzo Fittipaldi, and others have done in Florida Winter Tours of the past. The original Florida Winter Tour, the series that made karting a year-round sport in North America and where tomorrow's superstar drivers are discovered. 27 years later, you can still go karting and have some serious fun. Are you ready to join the action?
DJ Clark walking through the paddock here, and we've ran into Ariel Castro from AM Engines. And, well, I want to start at your start. Tell us a little bit about how you got your start in karting and in engine building and all of that.
Yeah, everything started in Argentina when I was 8. And then I came here to US in 2004, I think. And nothing. I started to driving. I was driving. And then in 2011, I started to do the engine part, because I was working with my dad. So since there, I'm working on engine and driving too, a little bit.
What is it about the engines that really gets you going and gets you excited? And was there a little bit of secret sauce that you were able to put into it?
Oh, I mean, we were mechanic in Argentina too, working with cars, with racing cars too. So that was what I like to do. So.
Well, then let's talk about AM Engines in general, because you've expanded in the past couple of years, not only running a kart team now, but also F4. What's that been like?
Yeah, we had 2 Formula 4 cars that we do in the team too. Between that and the go-kart, we are very busy. We had the go-kart team too. So very, very good. Busy, but very good.
Busy's always fantastic. One final question for you, and full confession, it's a little bit of shameless self-promotion. What do you like about ROK Cup, and what do you like about the engines that we're able to provide in particular?
Yeah, the series is very good, very well organized. And the engine is very easy to work with, so very, very good. I like the ROK.
Well, we like having you here, Ariel. Thank you so much, and good luck out here this weekend.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
As they enter into the acceleration zone, green flag flies. We are racing. Big slide farther back in the pack. Couple of micros going a little bit slideways, but they're going to hold it together. Pressure from Luca Besseril. Besseril looks outside for speed. Now down into turn 4. Got it. This position going to go to the inside of turn 1. Got it. The lead of it. Whoa, cross back, crossover.
I don't think battling each other is the way to go right here.
Oh, almost a little bit of a squiggle there for Trusho in that purple cart. Here comes Delbon to the line. Look at him. He's so excited. Welcome back to ROK Cup, the Florida Winter Tour, round 2 at the Orlando Kart Center for the final pre-final of the day. VLR Senior presented by Nash Motorsports. DJ Clark up here in the booth alongside Jason Ewers. And Jason, we've got a special guest with us here to call this race.
So we thought we would bring one of the racers who've been in this race through round 1, Gavin Bailiff, up here to kind of help us call this race a little bit, get his expertise on what some of these guys may be thinking. The first thing I'm thinking, Gavin, is no takers on fresh tires in the back of the field.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of new tires last round. I think pretty much everyone at the last round went new tires in the pre-final, just looking at the forecast for Sunday. So I don't know why not today. The forecast still isn't looking great for tomorrow, so I'm surprised to not see it.
My thought is, though, if I'm starting 15th, 20th, take that advantage to get those spots to move myself up in the final and then try to defend myself where I am in the final. You know you're not going to be as fast as everybody with new tires, but I want those starts in the final from the pre-final, especially if I'm starting in the back.
Right, yeah, I think this Levanto tire is, I mean, it seems to hold up pretty good throughout the entirety of the weekend. So maybe they just don't see quite as much of a gain on the new tire, that they just want to be on an even playing ground for the final.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to see, what have you guys noticed playing with the Levanto? It's like, what's the speed difference between, running a used tire and then putting a fresh set of new tires on?
It's definitely a gain going to new tire, especially in qualifying when there's not as much heat in the track. It's early in the day, but there's not much of a fall off either with this Levanto tire.
That's good.
I don't have a whole lot of experience on them, only doing a couple races, but yeah, I mean, it seems like a very solid tire to have throughout all the heat races.
Yeah, and that's what we've heard. We've seen too, just by the lap times throughout the day, like, the guys going purple who went purple earlier in the day, their times are not very far off. But here we go, as we're going to go take the checker flag here on the last race of the day.
Yeah, there we go. It's Diego Ramos leading the way down into turn 1. A little bit of consternation as everybody gets together there, but it looks like we're able to get through nice and cleanly. I think Caden McQueen tried to hold it around the outside. That didn't necessarily play off. It's Sebastian Garzon that's able to move his way up ahead. Oh, I think that was Caden McQueen taking a big hop, skipping a jump over the gravel there.
Yeah, I want to see if he brought any of that debris back on the track like we saw in the race before, or the 206 or the VLR Masters race there. So I'm noticing, just for me, so much defending going on, not running a normal racing line. It's really not allowing these guys to, I always come from like, let's just team up together, check out, and then worry about us with the 2 to 3 laps to go. That's not in this VLR. We saw that in the junior. We're seeing it in the senior. It's defense mode start to go,
Yeah, I mean, this is a totally different kind of racing than what I've been used to in the past couple years, especially. It seems start of this season has been an ultra defensive year. I mean, people are just white line blocking everywhere. And the problem is there's so much penalties when you have to eventually move the guy out of the way because he's just in the middle of the track the whole way around. There's no way to do it cleanly. So
yeah, and that's what I was telling DJ earlier. It's like, I think I've trained you well enough now to watch the bumpers. So
Yeah, I keep an eye on the bumpers.
Yeah, right.
I come from the world of sports cars and open wheelers, so the push-down bumper was a new concept to me. So it's kind of nice to see that. Ramos here continues to lead, by the way. Garzon, McQueen, Ali Bai with a really good run up through the field. Chase Gassel-Lee also moving up as well into 5th place.
And Garzon just made the pass on Ramos going into 10.
Yeah.
Going through here, which kind of maybe surprised. Ramos is down to 3rd now. So been super fast all weekend long on that chassis. So, I mean, you've got experience running all these chassis, and I think Ramos is on a Parallel, right?
He's on a Burrell.
He's on a Burrell?
Yep.
That is
Yep.
a Burrell, sorry.
Yep, Burrell.
Yeah, so you've had experience with that. So is he part of, he's PSL, right?
Yeah, he is
Okay.
PSL. So we're Trinity Karting, so we're very affiliated with PSL in our new switchover. But yeah, I know that Diego's had a lot of speed throughout these heat races, pulling a gap even farther towards the end of the race. So I'm sure he'll lock down and be able to get a run out of this.
No concern on that. Again, you know, tire pressures play such a huge part in this. So it's a long race. We still have 10 minutes plus the 2, so good 12 minutes left to go in this race. Probably no concern, long as you don't let those guys check out too far. But right there on the heels of who's he on? Is that Garzon?
He's on the heels of Garzon, but
And
Garzon's
McQueen.
trying to make a move to the inside there. Caden McQueen.
Yeah.
Looks like we've got Gassel-Lee out in the hairpin back
Oh, is he
there.
out there?
Yeah.
Oh, he was having such a good weekend, too.
Gassel-Lee and Raheem Alibi. Oh, no.
Oh, 2 of those. That's the commentator's curse right there. We just mentioned their names, and of course they go down through the order.
Oh, no.
Is there?
Oh,
McQueen?
another one.
That's the
Another
944.
And that is Acevedo, who's back at 21st. But, we continue on with the battle up front here with Garzon, McQueen, and Ramos.
Well, and I know last weekend, or last time we were here, it was obviously a little bit different because we had the rain coming in, making the track greener. But we are seeing a lot more of that marble buildup on the outside. How much is that changing your perspective as a driver as this race goes along?
For sure, it changes it a lot. I know the first round was really cold, so the tires were more skidding across the track, not putting down as much rubber. So yeah, I mean we're standing out in the stands out there, and we're getting hit in the eyes with some of the marble throw up. So for sure, it changes your perspective while you're out there. The track starts to narrow up a little, and it's more crucial to stay on line. If you get off just a little bit, that's a lap or 2 wasted of just cleaning off the tire.
Yeah, Caden McQueen just making the move up for the lead. Diego Ramos that we were talking about there, trying to be able to get that over Garzon. Doesn't exactly look like it's going to happen. Now, I also want to ask you about coming into turn 7 there.
Okay.
Because we have seen so many people take alternate lines coming into that corner. How tricky is that corner to get right?
It's very difficult, especially with some of the new aerodynamic kits that all these manufacturers have come up with for this season. You get a lot of aero push because it's such a high-speed corner. So just being able to find a line that's good, especially in a pack, is very difficult. Sometimes you have to go narrower than the guy in front of you just to keep some of that wind on your front bumper.
And you think go-karts, you don't think aero.
Yeah, that's the last thing I would have thought of.
But, I've heard that several times now, and I heard that with the new, especially just because Burrell, I think, had the very first, and I remember talking to George Musser at ROK Vegas how it is. And he's like, he goes, it's a huge difference. Like, with this new bodywork and that aero push, that's very, literally what you do in NASCAR or IndyCar. Get out of that line to get the air
just
on your car.
a little halfway up on the oval and try to get it to go.
Right, anything helps. But yeah, for sure, that has been kind of a problem trying to figure out this new bodywork. You wouldn't think it would make that much of a difference, but it sure does.
That is so crazy, and that's why we had you up in the booth right now.
We want to know these things. Yeah, exactly.
So, with you guys being here so much, what we're noticing now is from round 1 to now, I think you guys have learned different places to pass, because we're seeing places that we didn't see passes being done round 1. Now they're seeing passes being made.
Yeah, it's hard to say because I'm not out there this weekend, but for sure I've seen a lot more aggression in corners that I didn't think was as easy to make a good, clean pass in, but I've seen it all weekend, just lots and lots of passing in corners that don't have the best opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it into 11 and 12 and 13. That's become an area down into turn 9 where we see the leaders going right now. That's really become I think last time, Sarah Bradley pulled it out in some of the lower categories, and we were really stunned by it. We saw maybe a handful of them, and now it seems like at least 5 times a race we're getting passed down into 9.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 9 is very good passing opportunity just because it comes off such a slow section. But, 11 and 12 is the one that's been surprising me this weekend.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of moves, especially in the slower categories, like the Mini, where you're not in that hard into that corner in comparison to the faster category. So it's pretty impressive to see some of these kids.
Oh, that was Garzone.
Big off for Garzone.
Yeah, it looks like he just caught a tire onto the outside grass there, trying to get the move on Diego Ramos, and everything just went wrong. Total loss of grip. Heartbreak for Sebastian there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if maybe he got a little help going that far out right there. I'm not sure, but definitely caught a tire and had a little bit of an off-track excursion right there.
There may have been a little bit of a fade, but I couldn't necessarily tell. Did you see
No,
that?
I couldn't see it great. I know just racing with Garzone, he uses every inch of the track, so could have just been slight bit too much and just held him accountable.
Yeah, and what we're noticing too, as the racing's going on, the exits and the entrances into the corners are starting to get dug out more. Mm-hmm. So it could have been where a normal line he's been taking where there's some dirt and some sand right there where the car is now just dipping that tire and catching it. Especially you're seeing it right there coming off of 4 into 5 right here. That dip is getting huge.
Yeah, and the wind's blowing strong today, so that dirt, when someone goes off on one section of the track, can get blown to another section, and being in that lead group, you're the first people to hit it. So.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that wind, because that is something that we've noticed. We haven't brought it up on the broadcast, but when we talk about the way you're kind of playing it out and the way you have to drive it with the aerodynamics, does the wind play into that? Are you having to factor that in, or is that a little bit less?
It's weird. There's not a huge factor from the wind, but it's definitely sometimes you'd have to get a pretty good headwind to really feel anything. But for sure, with the aerodynamics of the bodywork, I think it could play a bigger role in a bigger track such as Newcastle.
Yeah, long straights. Yeah, absolutely. And we've noticed. I mean, Newcastle's one of my home tracks. Yeah. So when we're running, especially 206 back there, it's a couple tenths faster if you can get tucked in behind that front Nassau panel than sitting up there. And I got a bigger upper body anyway, so I'm basically a parachute going down straightaway if I don't tuck myself in.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely interesting on there. But right now we've got Ramos getting under a little bit of a charge from the Queen.
And the Queen is holding up good this race. He looks very fast, not letting Diego break away.
No, which is kind of a shock because I thought Diego probably had the field covered there, but I really thought Gasoline would have been up there without that. Kind of curious what happened with him. Was it just him? Is he just out there by
No,
himself?
it was Gasoline and Ali Bai.
Okay.
I've got to imagine, when I just kind of looked up at that, there were about 7 cars trying to go into that hairpin at the same time, and I think that was just a coming together.
Yeah, that's definitely a unique characteristic of this track, is having such a tight hairpin there. It's chaos. You think that the first lap is the worst, but usually it's the second. Going into that corner.
So, something I'm kind of interested in is you guys have been here for 6 weeks. How do you like that format? Do you like staying? As an owner of a team, I can understand it. You don't have to really move a lot of stuff around. But running the same track over and over and over again, I mean, I get it, but, you kind of probably want, if I eat vanilla ice cream every day, I want some chocolate once in a while.
Right, right. Yeah,
you're talking about vanilla all the way.
Yeah, so, I mean, I help run our team as well, so not having to move everything around is extremely nice, not going from one part of Florida to the next part of Florida, back to the other part of Florida. So that part of it's really nice, running a team, but as a driver, it kind of gets a little bit in a loop. Like, you feel like you're on repeat every session. It's really nice for making sure that you hit your marks, but it definitely does get a little bit boring.
Yeah, no. It's funny because I was talking to your mom. Michelle's your mom, right?
Yeah.
So I was talking to her, and I was like, why is it Gavin and Finnegan racing this weekend? They're like, they just wanted to go to the beach. So, I mean, it is a lot. It's a lot for you guys. And the season hasn't even really started yet.
I know.
Take advantage of these times off, and then we'll be back. And are you guys coming to Houston with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I think I talked to your dad.
We'll be in Houston with you guys. And, like you said, the season's just getting started. With the whole switch to the Burrell, we never really had an off season after Vegas. So
so we've got
a lot of work.
So we've got back in Houston next month, and you guys will be running SCUSA too, which is the start of SCUSA's. Was that the spring race?
Yeah.
Spring
Or,
race.
sorry, that'll be their Winter Nationals.
That's
not
the Winter
Series.
Nationals. That's right, because it's almost it is. Well, yeah, you guys are a week after us, so
Yeah.
technically it's spring. But
Yeah. I would consider it more spring.
so you got that, and then you guys run Stars.
Yep.
So then you're back in, where's that? Is that Carolina? Is that down?
Yeah, Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah.
should be the first race of the
So
Star Series.
so that'll be new for you guys. So then
Yeah.
it starts up.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we get to Texas, that is the rest of our season. We're going and going and going until we get to back here next year, I'm sure.
So how many of you guys, I know you're a little light with us here this weekend on drivers, but on a typical event, like how many team drivers do you guys have?
Gosh, I mean, last year it would range from never less than 12 carts, but it got up to 25, 30 carts periodically through the season. So
Yeah.
I mean, it is a lot of work getting all those carts to the track.
And I'm sure like some of your, we got some action going on
Yeah,
there.
we got Caden McQueen able to take
wow.
the lead back from Ramos here with 2 laps to go. Sorry to tear you away from that.
No, it's fine.
But McQueen's starting to push ahead here. Ramos starting to look for that line, those crossovers. That's a big maneuver that we've seen quite a bit here, is that over-under down into 5 and down to 6.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities on this track to over-under, but there's also a fair bit of double corners. So you think you're going to be able to get an over-under, and you're stuck on the outside again for the next corner. So it's definitely a very technical track to try and get a move done at, but it makes for some great racing.
It really does. I mean, it's the technicality. We've kind of really highlighted 7, 8, and 9 as kind of the high technical section of where you really got to get it right. But the back-to-back hairpins here and then the double hairpins of 9 and 10, it really just opens it up. White flag coming out here for Caden McQueen. Let's see if Ramos has got anything for him.
Got him covered up. We'll see how defensive McQueen's going to get here going into 5.
Pretty defensive.
Yeah, but you know
They're very experienced drivers, so
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be a very tight race.
And there's that over-under that you were talking about. Kind of hung him out a little bit, but now here comes the problem, side by side.
Yep.
But
Back
you don't
on
want to
the
be on the
outside.
outside coming into 7.
No, definitely not with all those marbles on the track. I mean, that line through there is so narrow right now. It can be just an inch wrong, and you're spinning out into that pit lane.
So we're letting them go down into 10 here. Big swing outside by Ramos. Really not much going on there. But how bad is the outside line on the start here?
You know, I actually prefer it.
Do you?
Really?
Yeah. So
All right.
I didn't have the best qualifying in the last round of.
Hold on, we got to cut you
Yeah.
off there because
Oh,
they're
wow.
coming to the checkered right here, and it's going to be
Come
McQueen
on.
coming to the line. He's got it by
He's
300ths of a second.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, so go ahead and
Yeah,
kind of
finish that thought.
Yeah, so the outside line, I think I prefer it at this track. It gets a little bit chaotic with everyone trying to go to the inside, but you do take that risk of all that inside momentum moving to the outside. But I made most of my starts up, or all my positions up on the start, starting on the outside
interesting.
at
Something.
the first round. So.
Something for us to watch from the finals over the week. So, well, that wraps us up for the day here.
It does indeed. Thank you so much for joining
Yeah,
us.
thank
you, guys.
Thank you
That
for
was
joining
awesome.
us. Wonderful to see you, and we say hi to you and everyone at home. You can see our beautiful faces there.
Not
We've got
mine.
our wonderful camera crew bringing us in. Thank you so very much for joining us through everything today. Again, if you hadn't heard me before, we'll be back with you at about 10:30 tomorrow morning. So that's when you're going to want to tune in. But on behalf of all of us here in the booth, my name is DJ Clark, and on behalf of one of the best teams you're ever going to see working around behind the scenes, it's been a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow around 10:30 a.m. Eastern.